the prince listened to Cross's plight about the Warforged through his eyes in earnest. Not being reserved in his questions, whether they seemed naive or offensive, he did his best to thoroughly understand his perspective. And in the end, he has promise to he asked Cross to make a promise that if he was going to continue as Ceres ambassador, that he would do so without leaving the fact that he's a Warforged out of the equation anymore, and that he would have hope as he goes into the future of Cyre. He agreed to both things, and the prince in turn vowed not to fail him. Lois had a meeting with Vestige and learned about their talents and religious views, and maybe seemed to come off as a polite and earnest holy person who is discovering their own religion as they went, and seemed to have a genuine interest in providing closure for individuals. Whether Lois really believes that or not is entirely, of course, up to Lois. Um, Ludvig hung out with quote unquote Rowen, who was definitely there in New Siri the whole time.
What put butt
Ludvig
in
kicked
Dragon Chess?
her ass in Dragon Chess, earning the temporary title of Baron until Rowan gets back. And then played Haydith, in which there was a much closer battle of wits, but it seemed that Haydith proved herself to actually be quite a cunning mind in the field of strategy. And helped Ludwig out with the planning of the joust with, maybe a couple of little flirtations in there, who knows? Um, and last but not least, the party met with Trajan Sunsinger, a rather eccentric, strange creature from across the land. He is, has been claimed a dragonborn from the forests of Kubara, who seems largely unconnected with the grander affairs of Corvair, but maybe to Cross's surprise, showed a surprising degree of politeness when addressing the court of New Siri. Maybe there's hope for this guy, but he certainly adds an element of levity to the party, for better or for um, and hopefully we'll check in with him today. But for the time being, we pick up still in that day. We're at the later parts of that day for sure, but that day nonetheless. As Rowan returns, Ludwig has completed his preparations for the joust. And very important note, Ludwig has granted Haydith the protection of his personal defender. A very kind gesture. Tremendously kind, in fact. Um,
It's an honorable gesture to
Conspicuously
ensure nothing bad
kind,
happens.
in fact. Okay. Certainly, at least the familiarity between Ludwig and Hader is beginning to show itself, whether it be courtesy or something else. We'll see what the gossip column has to say.
Oh, I
But
will shoot that down
uh,
so fast.
well, burn every token. Um, but yeah, we pick up today. Uh, let's see. Let's see. I usually don't like to do reputations like in the middle of the day. So I think with that said, I am going to skip it for now while keeping in memory everything that has already occurred on this day. If we have a long rest, then we'll have a quick interlude with reputation. I wanted to ask if anyone had any epistolary sendings that they'd like to share or remind me of if I have missed any returning letters. But I don't think I have this time. Okay, doesn't seem like any messages want to be sent, and that is okay. And lastly is the rumor phase, but I think I hold a similar, uh, yeah, I think I'm going to hold a similar opinion about the rumor phase. It hasn't even been a full day. I don't know if something's picked. I don't think there's anything wildfire enough that it's going to pick up at this particular rumor phase. So I think we're going to gloss over that one as well. There's nothing, you picked all of it up this morning. Nothing too crazy has happened this afternoon. We will skip the rumor phase entirely today. Okay, so let's bring us right into our game. Um, so Leora, we will save for the time being our your strange dragonborn addition has kind of maybe gone for a little wander, and it's up to you all to decide what you want to do with your time. Um, you all have many irons in the fire, I believe, so I'm just gonna let you guys take it away. I'm sure you all have plans. So, who's up to bats? Would you like to reunite? Do you have independent journeys to undertake? Plan. Ludwig, I'm seeing your hand, so why don't you tell me?
Okay. Yeah, after I went around with Haydith to help organize raise money for more of the banquet and everything after the tournaments,
Hmm.
I would have gone back to um uh yeah, I would have gone back to the Silver Swan Inn in order to make sure I could give a proper count of how many f plates we're gonna need.
Okay. How many plates would you like to propose that you need for this banquet?
The final number would depend on how many sponsors me and Haydith recruited.
Sponsors you recruited. That's right.
Yeah, to help pay
Yes.
for like the banquets.
This is banquet. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's bring it down to a roll.
Okay.
Um, it's very clever. You and Haydith devised this plan that, like, oh, if you help pay for the banquet, you could sit in on the banquet, which is
And have your
with
name read out at the tourney. But yeah,
yeah, and of course we have the tourney. Um, I want you, Ludwig. I'll tell you what. I'll give you choices, Ludwig. You can roll. You can roll with advantage, or you could give Haydith advantage to roll a persuasion check to see how many sponsors you conjure up.
I'm gonna I want to see how Haydith does, so I'll give her the advantage.
What a gentleman, backing up his lady. I mean, a lady,
Because
not
like
his lady.
the good lady from up north, the and a princess of my homeland.
Of course, of course. Uh, all right. I'll give her advantage. Let me go in for that roll.
If not, I could try to use Commander's presence to help her out a little bit. I don't know, maybe.
Hmm. Okay. She rolls. She was pretty good. Oh, my math is just not working. 22.
Okay,
She rolls a
excellent.
22, which is pretty good. For a 22, Hades is nothing if not industrious in the skill of making friends, shall we say. She seems to have a very strange way of using like sort of dark humor to sort of elicit like as a sort of like icebreaker and a way of building familiarity, where it's like it sort of immediately lets the veil down of like politeness, and it's a little it catches people off guard, but in a pleasant way. And you kind of see her do this, and I will simply say, let's see, you've got Orgrave, you've got his people
I,
at
I
court is full three people in court are most days. So we'll say like five people for them. There's the you guys, which is like five.
I've risen up
Um,
about it up to 28 potentially.
28. Okay. You have six suitors, five for the court, five for you guys. I
Uh,
will say that
the five winners and the plus ones.
that's true. Five winners and then everyone is plus ones. Okay. I'll tell you what. She gets you guys because that's like without the plus ones, that's five for New Siri, five for you guys, um, five winners, and five. Oh, come on now.
Use that brain, Matthew. But use that brain,
I
Ryan.
know, I know. I'm using it. It's got to work for me. Okay,
Suitors, five
I will
suitors.
say, yeah, I'm gonna say Hadith manages, not including their own plate. Hadith manages to bring out 26, 25 plates worth of financial support,
Okay, excellent.
not including the actual sponsors themselves who will
Nice.
pay for themselves. That won't probably is not going to include plus ones too well. You'll have to cover the rest of the costs out of your own pocket.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
I will say that is a significant sum of money.
That's not, yeah, I have that sent immediately to the Doric banker in town
Yeah,
to help.
banquet per person is 10 GP, so that is
Okay,
not an insignificant amount of money.
okay.
That would be, if I'm not mistaken, I said 25 plates. That'd be 250 gold worth of plates, which is ooh, that's pretty good
Yeah,
for an
good.
afternoon.
Exactly.
Uh, okay, yeah, you send it off to the to you send that off to yeah. You basically just like you find these sponsors, you talk to them, butter them up, and you just gotta give them the information of House Condark, and they say like, and then as sponsors, they'll take care of it.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, they head off to do that. I think if you want to include plus ones, it's gonna be a bit more. So just so I'm writing it all down officially. Five winners. We got five Leora, five suitors. Oh, no, not suitors.
Six.
Whoops. That's five for the court, for
Mm,
the actual Syrian court. And then there is six suitors. So that immediately comes up to 21 seats. So that gives you four to spare. Sponsors will cover themselves.
mhm.
So if you want plus ones, that's going to be another, let's see here. So
Five.
grand total at the end of the day is 42. You've got 25 seats covered. 42. That makes uh, three. That's 23 plates that still need covering. So it's another 230 gold.
Okay, got it. Goddamn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go take care of that. I'll go talk to him. And I'll tell him we need these many plates covered.
And our Kandaric boy will be. Well, this is for the banquet, so I think the Kandaric fella will. Yeah, he whatever. It's fine. He takes the money off of you and he says, "Rest assured, I'll make sure this gets into the right hands. Organizations will be made. Your banquet will come through just like your joust. Congratulations, Viceroy. Seems like everything is coming together for you."
Well, seems like it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lord Kondarik.
And you exit the tent where Haydith and your two posse members are standing, as it seems that from a financial perspective, everything seems to be handled, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I'm wrong on that point?
It should everything should be taken care of.
Yeah, that was joust costs,
The
reward,
tourney
and
costs,
banquet
the help and the
fund.
banquet. Yeah, it should be everything.
Yeah, yeah. And then laborers will take care of the rest. So with that, your job is complete. Todd gives you a little applause. Says, I must admit, comrade, I did not. Oh, I'm Russian. This is not the accent of our people.
Yeah,
Um, he says,
too far east.
he's a the.
There
Says,
with the
I must admit, Ludwig, I did not expect you to be so proficient at organizing parties.
well, I'm about to help run a dragon marked house soon enough. It feels if I can't help organize the party, I might be up shit creek without a paddle.
He just kind of generally seems impressed. Todd just kind of like shrugs and is like, he's very good. He's very impressive.
Thank you. Let's head on back to the Silver Swan.
Yeah,
Svan.
you spot on. You and Haydith and your posse head on back. No problem there. And maybe some people are back there at this time. Let's go find out. Just to swing around. We're going to be real quick on that. We'll be back to you soon, Ludwig. Um, who else had any immediate plans they'd like to draw forth? I know Lois had. Lois, you could pick up your documents from Kandaric as well. And if you
Okay.
had, I know there was some other background paperwork you wanted to do.
Yeah,
Just some purchasing and shipping stuff. to
Okay.
get shipped in.
Yeah,
I did
cool.
want to meet with the five folks that I met while we were doing our tour.
Right. Okay. So you oh right. How could I have forgotten? I'm gonna put those down in my calendar just for future memory's sake. Um uh Lois fruits. Uh, okay. Sure. So you head back. Yeah, maybe you do a little bit of this paperwork that you're talking about, and we can deal with that behind the screen. But yeah, you head back to the Silver Swan Inn, where, as requested, you're going to find these five leaders of this sort of refugee community. Um, they all sort of fall in there. You are going to see, um, they're sort of sitting at a table. They are speaking quite politely with one another. And you also see that, let's see here. No, let's do a bigger dice than that. You see that three out of five of them are now dressed in fine wear. Um, yeah, they're just dressed in like very professional formal wear. Like this is a business meeting. They're dressed in noble colors. At the meeting table, you had recruited them. I don't want to say they weren't in rags, but they certainly weren't in this kind of regalia. And but they were in every sense of the word, like seemingly like kind-hearted leaders of the community. Two of them are not in like noble regalia, but one of them seems to have put on their best shirt, so to speak. And the fifth is clearly looking around the table a little like, oh shit, I missed the memo on the formal wear. But as you approach the table, all five will stand and very formally. Again, the fifth one seems to kind of follow suit, seeming realizing they're a little behind the bar on formalities here. And yeah, they finally welcome you in.
Uh, thank thank you for agreeing to meet me. By all means, just sit. There's no no need for formality. Pardon me, I'm gonna stand on this chair. That way you can all see me.
They all make a polite laugh, and they all are kind of at ease, soldiered, and they take seats, order you some drink maybe.
The reason I asked you all to come here is House Leora is new, and we are painfully aware that the war ravaged a lot of everyday people. None more so than uh, the survivors from Cyre. The as a fledgling house, there is only so much that we can do. We don't have a massive economic engine to to leverage. Uh, but what we can do is we can establish something that will give us the opportunity to help. To that end, I have taken the liberty to draw up some documentation that's going to establish a non-for-profit entity uh, that House Leora can fund, and perhaps we can find some other dragon-marked houses, some other noble houses to help fund to try to make the everyday person's life who is suffering through stuff a little bit better. Our test case I'm looking to make here. Uh, to that end, uh, I have made the arrangements for purchasing and shipping uh, 5 plows and horses to draw them, and about 500 gold pieces worth of raw material, uh, and some carpenter's tools, saws, hammers, that sort of stuff. Um, but I need somebody here to look after those materials and to look after making sure that the horses and plows get rented out to the folks who can use them, and to care and upkeep those those pieces. The organization structure is we're going to establish I call it a Hayward Council, uh, that's is going to look after, a particular refugee community or a particular town that's in kind of dire straits. Um, and to that end, I would like you folks to be my Hayward Council for the new Syrian refugees. In tooling around today, each of you impressed me with your demeanor, how you were working with the other people, uh, in your individual cliques and communities. Uh, it hopefully shouldn't be something that's super taxing. So your your day-to-day stuff isn't going to get overwhelmed. Uh, and there will be some remuneration to be associated with seeing to this. Um, but that's what I wanted to ask you. Would you be willing to help us make this a reality?
I just posted a list of the people at the table, and they all look stunned at the sudden massive show of support. Um, and they all kind of look around the table and in disbelief. Uh, I think one will stand up. The lady who will introduce herself as a lady Alvara here Rowen. These days I'm probably not as impressive as some other nobles you've met throughout the land, Viceroy, but I um I must say I am shocked by your just the charity, the kindness you mean to show. Like plows and whatnot, very, very valuable, such materials. I just, I think I could speak for everyone when I say that we would be more than happy to help in any way to assure that everything is done fairly, as you say. I suppose we can speak more about particular duties that you would expect, but if you if you would really truly wish us to help you in this endeavor, we've all had our differences at this table, but I think we could expect and know that we all wish to do the best for New Siri. I'll nod with earnest. And the lady Rovid says, and we are at your disposal, Viceroy.
Well, it's not just me. It's all of House Leora that is behind this. And our organization is going to be very flat. Uh, what we would ask is, I'm going to bring in, as part of this organization, some some community tools, um, horses, plows, the carpenter's tools, that sort of thing, um, with the intent of putting those to work for the community. And how that gets done, I'm really leaving in your hands. There are five of you at the table. I'm bringing in five plows and horses. You want to have responsibility, one apiece. If you want to, put them in a community pool, whatever you think is going to work best for the folks in New Cyre who, are currently living in tents. If, we can help bootstrap them along to something better. Um, that's the goal and the aim. But I don't know what's going to work best for this community. That's going to be your responsibilities. And
Got it.
I want to know what you've decided to do. And, a few times a year, some sort of kind of formalized, this is what we plan to do, this is what we did, this is how it came out. Nothing super elaborate. We're not looking to micromanage anything. We're just looking to help. Um,
I, I, we'll go to somebody else. Um, I will say, I'll say, Sarah Tavik. She's the one who looks a little like less formal than the others, who's like trying to keep up with all the formalities. She will speak and she'll say, I have to say, these are tremendously kind. I think we will have no issue, um, working these things out. Uh, but yes, like raw materials are tremendously useful. We have many challenges here. This is, if I could be frank, uh, land that nobody wants. The ground is not very good for farming. There's no trees to be cut down. It's difficult land to work, but I, if there is resources that you mean to give us, we will find a way to use them to the best effects. You have our eternal gratitude. And I'm sure the gratitude of many, many here.
well, and if there are if there are other areas of expertise that you think over, you know, I've had some initial funds available to seed this first test. But as you you know get this initial bulk, if there are if there are things that would be useful, if you know if we can leverage our influence or negotiate on behalf of uh the new Syrian refugees, this establishes a an umbrella under which we can help do that. So if it's a matter of bringing in somebody who understands soil and agriculture and those sorts of things, we can do that. If it's a matter of, the soil is, truly poor, but you've got lots of grass. I don't know if, bringing in certain kinds of, sheep or goats or something would be beneficial in not only feeding people and providing opportunities. I was thinking sheep might be the next item. Lots of grass, not a lot of trees. Sheep makes sense. It also gives you an opportunity to establish, some sort of economic engine, internally and externally. Um, for cottage, cottage industry, for, you know, spinning and that sort of stuff. But really, that's the feedback that I need from you folks. but seeing how many people are living in tents, the fact that while the ground isn't great, you know, it's tough to get it broken up. So if we can bring in some tools to help facilitate that and make that a start, that seemed like a good spot. And then once that was there, you guys could let us know, hey, we really need, you know, you know, 200 head of sheep, or we need mason's tools, or we need, something of that nature.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, no, they all look like absolutely ecstatic to do so. Some heads turn towards Sarah Tavik, and she's like a little like, "Oh, what?" And they're like, "Well," and we'll say the Countess Venrod says, "Well, uh, Luisona makes an excellent point. It seems that farming and agriculture is the most important. I sure you know something of this." And Sarah Tavik goes, "I was a cobbler. How would I know anything about that?" She goes, "Oh, my apologies. You were lowborn. I assumed you would know farming." She goes, "Yeah," because I
Also,
know
I'm an
farmer.
also I'm coming to some law farmers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He's like, so I know some farmers who can. And the countess says, exactly. See, this will be a perfect counsel. And Tarek just shakes her head a little bit. Um, and I'll say, the Lieutenant Tolev says, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Luisona. When would you like our first report? I am sure, we can certainly have it to you before you leave Syria if you wish. It would not take much time.
well, talk to your constituents, get an idea of what you folks think that it is would be great to have. I have already made the arrangements to get those other materials shipped in. It will take some time for it to get here, um, because we're bringing them in uh, from, oh dear God, the name of the place just left my head. Star something.
Yeah,
Star
Starlasker.
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 So it will be a week or 10 days before that material gets here. Um, so take a couple of weeks, talk to your folks while that stuff gets here. Um, you know, organize yourselves how you think best to parse out this initial batch of stuff, and we'll take it step by step from there. I don't have a firm, solid plan. This is a test. If it works well here, hopefully we can replicate it, because while you know the Syrian refugees are an obvious example of people who were hit hard by the war and the mourning. You weren't the only ones, and you know Leora wants to wants to be helpful to the everyday people, in addition to know the nobles and the merchants that have you know gold to gold to spend, but um, we want to make sure that the folks that don't aren't left behind.
Of course. Um,
That's really that's really very important to us, as a Dragon Mark house.
uh, and they listen and they nod and there's a deep appreciation here, and a buddingness of energy to like get to work, immediately. And you are thanked profusely, especially just by all of them. I mean, each one you can tell is a very genuine place in the community and a care. Some maybe are a little bit more, even all these years later, are still a little in the noble cloud a little bit, but nonetheless are deeply appreciative of what you're doing. The realities of uh, well, their new station is not lost on them, and they all start getting to work. They start talking. They go, "Oh, we'll have to consult the new Cyre." He goes, "Of course. Oh, we'll have to see what the new Cyre. And everyone should speak, and I'll speak to the military." And he goes, yes, of course. And immediately conversation gets to speak about asking everybody, and they're like, "Oh, how best to organize a question? Should we do a vote, perhaps?" But no, we should talk to the court first. And immediately they begin to start musing about
And
this with excitement.
and Lois will slide 2 gold coins to each of them. Thank you for being on board. This is the first month stipend.
Absolutely.
Um,
And they accept it, yeah, with thanks, with deep thanks, and begin to talk about that, about how they can do that, bring that money together and make something useful happen. Absolutely. So 2 gold a month. All right, for each, of course, two. So
yeah,
10 gold. Yeah. Hey, out here, all helps.
and like I said, it's not supposed to replace what it is that they're doing. It's
Hmm,
here is an additional responsibility that has some remuneration associated with it.
absolutely. Um, Magnificent. Okay, and yeah, you hold this meeting, and they're very, very well established. Just because I want to make sure to write it. I know you sent me the document, but just for calendar reference, what were you going to call this council again?
Uh, the uh, the Development Commission of House Leora.
Oh, okay, cool. Uh, shit. Beautiful. Uh, Amazing. Okay. Does anybody else? Magnificent, Lois. Very, very, very kind, and it's exceptionally kind. Um, who else? Who else has stuff they want to do? Cross run. Looking at you two.
You got
Nothing.
sound spells on common. Oh,
Oh,
Cross
there
unmuted.
we
I
go.
was going to let Cross go.
I don't have any ideas at the moment.
No, that's okay. So head for it, Ron.
All right, so real quick, the last thing that he had done was like, who wants to escort her to the teleportation circle? And then he said, "Don't make me wait too long." Is that so? How many like? What's the guard look like? Like, is it just like a couple of guys? Am I going with like a full fucking guard? Like, what's
Well, what you gotta remember is this is tribal feudal
right?
place, right? So there's no like they don't go into like nightly formation
Oh
so
yeah.
intensely, right? So yeah, this isn't any sort of like Ondarian honor guard where there's like pomp and circumstance, but you're escorted there by like maybe like 6 or 7 like pretty rough, mean looking warriors. Some of them declarated to maybe even look like champions of various clans. Some of them maybe even chieftains, as he kind of was like, calling on a sign of respect to him through extension by you. So everyone saw a chance to please the Lesh, as low hanging as it was.
Do I recognize any of the people with us?
Hmm. Ooh, tricky. Make me an intelligence. Intelligence? Yeah, sure, sure. Intelligence check for memory, I guess. Just a flat intelligence. Nothing too crazy.
16.
16. You notice two of them. Okay. They're in very different stations now than when you first saw them.
I would reckon.
I'm gonna say one you had just seen like just kind of like who used to like hang around Rukon Drawl as like a maybe like an envoy of his clan, like a clan representative. Seems to be like a champion now. Very impressive rising in station. A little more battle scarred than he was when you saw him 2 years ago. Um, the other one, I'm gonna say with some bitterness in your mouth, you're not 100% certain, but you think you might have seen him in one of the Southern raiding parties early on when you got here. And he is a chieftain now. He is not just some over the hill raider any longer. He's a chieftain now. He well, he did some despicable things within your line of sight to some people from your country. Let's say it that. You don't think he recognizes you, though. It was like it's one of those faces that were like burned into your memory kind of thing, not someone who like you personally interacted with, but was there, and for whatever reason, it just kind of springs back to you. Those are the only two you actually recognize with the group of seven.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to
Yeah, I
keep
rolled for it.
She will keep her face very neutral.
Okay.
And then she's going to try to time this as the teleport goes off to shift back into a disguise for as they walk into New Cyre.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no issue. Like they escort you into House Orion. Like you're not maybe you half expected them to like made sure you left because that was kind of the vibe before. But they let you into the Orion Enclave, at which point it's basically like guild grounds. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I don't want to say it's like a what's it called? Like a
An embassy?
yeah, it's not like an embassy like you're on legally on other countries' grounds now. It's not like that. But you are on like dragon marked house grounds where it's a little bit more like, okay, now we're on neutral grounds here a little bit. So they leave you at the door and you're like, oh, okay. You find your brain kind of surprised maybe. Um, and yeah, you walk inside and like I say, uh, the teleportation's already been paid for. You've been 5,000 gold, and you leave. I will say from your time here, this is very much like Dark is very much like when you see like Yellowstone or Dances with Wolves or whatever those movies are, where you find the settlers integrating or coming to understand um, the native culture. And there's a lot of unwritten stuff in our world that isn't there for them, and there's a lot of unwritten stuff there that is for here. But because you have danced in both worlds, this expenditure of gold and this sort of show of security and kindness of your entrance here, though it hasn't been expressly said, you'd understand that the the correct thing to do now would be that if you were to return after this expenditure of gold of your being here, to not return empty-handed. That doesn't mean show up with a goop fruit basket. That means like if you're gonna come back, don't come back for dinner. Come back with something to talk about or to give or to take of significance. You know what I mean? And you would just know that's not a cruel thing. That's almost like one of the general guidelines of courtesy when entering into someone's house. Like, you don't go upstairs unless you've been given permission. It's the same thing. You don't come back if you don't have something of significance to offer or to talk about.
Whew.
Though the company would be delightful. And you return back. As you enter into the Orion Enclave, you put on the disguise self before stepping outside, and you seem to have gotten away with it.
All right, so we will get out. If we are already in Orion, I will have a message courier to the prince. It's already written up. It's basically just says, hey, at your leisure, send someone for me and we can continue our discussion. It's like it's real vague.
Yeah. Just
Anyone who read it would have,
let's talk.
yeah.
You
And
up?
then we will continue into the Silver Swan.
All right. Then, if Cross doesn't have anything to do, I want to check back in. Is there, if you're good for the moment, Cross, why don't we have the party kind of just bump into each other a little bit here at the Silver Swan, and as that seems to be the common meeting grounds. Lois wraps up with her little group of individuals, bumps into not Rowen, but someone in disguise. And you like signal to other Rowen who comes upstairs with you, and you guys Freaky Friday it back together.
I see other Rowan going up, and I follow up too.
Well, you'll probably come in with Haydith, who's not in the loop, right? Who's still in your company. She I think you've been traveling a lot today, and I think she'd very politely leave your company.
I give her a bow.
Yeah, she very
Your
politely leaves
Majesty?
your company. And you
Your
spend like a
Majesty,
couple
I call
your
her specifically.
call your majesty, and she smiles at that playfully. And she bows, and she's gonna make her way actually sort of up the street towards the court. With your defender in tow, and you step inside in time to see the real Rowan come downstairs in a different outfit, more familiar outfit than she left from. Lois is cleaning up with whatever those group of people are over there. And you see Ludvig come in without his defender, but with Todd at his side, who is, in fairness, a capable warrior unto his own right, and Ludvig himself. And maybe Cross just kind of comes huddling in if that's his design to maybe chill out. And as a reminder, on this sort of day off, some of the suitors may be about, if anyone had a care. But yeah, you all kind of come together if you wish to speak or not, or maybe you have other plans to do, but I leave it in your hands.
I go up to Rowan and says, "Oh, Rowan, you want a rematch from that Dragon Trust game from earlier?" I mean,
Rowan is going to look at Shadow and say, "You didn't."
He goes, I'm just doing my thing. Oh, sorry, I'm not you anymore. Yeah, no, Ludwig decided that we should play for the barony. And considering at the time was the baron, I'd play for it. But now that I'm not, I'm guessing that everything's null and void because I know you guys like your contract so much.
Listen, Ludwig, if you want to be the Baron, I'll play back for it.
hey, we can definitely do that later.
I will so lose on purpose. She busts
Fair enough,
up
yeah,
laughing.
What does this one do?
So yeah,
But,
no, listen, you won that fair and square. You are Baron, sir.
Yeah, and Ludwig, you're just
Oh,
like,
please.
what's your game? Like, because you just cleaned that up.
I give her a chuckle. Ha ha ha.
Well, in that case, I guess you get the paperwork, and
I
Lois
just
will take a handful of paper and hand it to you.
like what does it say? Is it the charity thing?
Yes, it is the commissioning document for the development commission for House Leora.
Well, I stiffen my spine a little bit. It says excellent work, Viceroy Losana de Leo. Excellent work. Like I give a small salute.
Okay, but for real, Ludvig, Lois, I
D-
appreciate what both of y'all have done. Also,
Oh,
incredibly smart, like moving, like just well done, well executed, but also well considered. Thank you.
No problem.
It
No
means a lot.
problem.
well, in Zill fashion, it's a multifaceted endeavor. Because if we're thought well of by the common folks, that moves other items along its projected path. And this is a convenient method of making that happen, and a way that that influence can get washed and seem reasonably well put together.
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad you're on our side. Hey, has anyone spent time with the princess?
Oh, I've she's helped. Oh, well, she's generously helped me to
Mr.
put
Shadow
together
says,
the.
yes.
Feels like she has generously helped me to organize the tourney today. I would you,
So is it true she slipped she slipped Breland's overreach?
like I whisper, I can only speculate, but and I do my whisper voice. I can only speculate, but
I assumed we were
I don't.
having this meeting discreetly, so
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
I was okay. I wasn't sure. We're having a discreet
I need to give you
discretion.
guys a magic item that is like discreet, discreet.
Yes,
It
this
just turns on
orb of
discreet.
discretion.
We're in a quiet room now. Yeah, all right, yes, so
Yeah, she's proven very useful. I tried to figure it out, but I tried to win it out of her in a game of Dragon Chess. I lost. I owed her
oh
I
wait,
owed
does that
her a
make her
bottle of
Baron?
wine. Like, don't I didn't bet that.
Ah.
Don't tell her.
Well, honestly, okay, so look, here's what I'm thinking. Um, Shadow is gender fluid, and to be honest with you, Shadow needs sometimes Shadow needs to be me, right? Like Shadow's got
Sometimes
to
a
be
guy's
able
just got to
to
wear a dress.
right. Shadow's got to be able to blend and weave, and technically, I need an attendant that's female for my honor or some such. Uh, and since the princess is currently at liberty, I was thinking I would assign her as or request if she would like to be my attendant, and she can just travel with us. Honestly, we can't just let a princess run around like someone could hurt her.
Of course, that's why I went to
Todd
so
says, well, it's a good thing that Ludwig assigned his defender to her service.
I did. I did. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, but thank you for reminding me, Todd.
That was
You're
excellent
welcome.
thinking.
And he just like looks very innocently up at the ceiling.
That
Of
was
course he
excellent
does.
thinking. I like that. Yeah.
I'm not sure if she could leave Breland because but New Cyre is technically within Breland, so she's not technically fleeing the country. She's technically a hostage. I'm not sure how that could go, but you'd have to ask her.
I mean, I haven't, have you seen anyone with her?
No, no.
Right. So normally a hostage, even if they're given some reins, right? Like They have people watching them. So do they have any idea where she is? Like, do they know she's here? Like, does Breland know she's here?
Oh yeah, the Brelish ambassador was talking with her earlier.
All right. All right. No, that's, well, shit. I won't go quite as easily.
Mr.
I
Shadow
was
does.
hoping to
Let's be
kidnap her.
honest. Let's be honest. I mean, you keep track of your political hostages. You know what I mean? I mean, I never had one, but I feel like I would keep track of them.
All right.
I'd be a very good no, I'd be a terrible political hostage, if I'm being honest.
You talk too much.
I talk way too much, and I have too many faces.
Mhm.
But we love everything about you.
Ah,
You can't be a
thanks. You're all
political
warming up.
hostage because you couldn't be with us.
Yeah, maybe I'll be your political hostage.
Mm.
A little late for that, but very well.
Are you a hostage if you're willing? I mean, I don't know.
I guess not, huh?
Ryan, can I roll to try and to remember the political maneuvering of hostages and the rules and whatnot?
Oh, sure. Yeah, make a history check, I
Okay.
guess, or an insights, either or, I guess.
I'll use heroic inspiration on that. Uh, never mind. 6.
6.
Don't know. Shit.
You would just know the basics, which is that Karnath gave Braylon a hostage, and Braylon gave Karnath a hostage. And yeah, as far as the logic train goes, that's as far as you get. Someone else could roll prepared or talk about it prepared.
Hmm.
Do you ask about it, Ludwig? You see, like in Ludwig, you don't
I
like.
I
You're like, forget what's the. You can
does
ask
anyone?
about it.
Yeah. I thought. Sorry. I thought that was. Oh, that was
It's all good.
obvious. I would ask. Does anyone else know any history of the hostage? What hostage rules are like?
I want to roll for it.
Sure. I'm gonna say Todd and Shadow don't have enough. Shadow might actually. Todd doesn't have enough. Um,
What am I rolling?
history or insight to like gather the rules of royal hostage trades.
19.
19. Okay. Basically, if something happens to one of the hostages, the other hostage dies.
Yeah.
That's the plain and short of it. If our hostage is harmed, if they're not treated with every noble courtesy that they are afforded by the rules of uh, courtesy and honor and all that shit, if they are misplaced, if they leave the country, if something, if anything happens to them, we're gonna fucking kill your hostage. That's basically what it is. It's essentially like a kind of mutually assured destruction because these two hostages are meant to be of tremendous value. Like Haydith is the sister of the king, and as far as who the traded Braelish hostage is, I can look into that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I guess I was thinking since we're going to
But
Sharn, she could just
um,
go with us, but we're going to Thrain before we go to Sharn. So never, like,
And
seriously, I
then
wasn't trying to get her in trouble.
yeah, and then
I was just
Karnath
thinking
and
since
no,
we were
Cyre.
you're
going there.
good.
Well, yeah, but we would be going
Yeah,
to
you're
Sharn
think about it.
first, so she would be someplace that was in the middle of Braelish culture and safe before we went off to. Do you see what I'm saying? Like we would just.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. No,
That's
I get it. You're just floating ideas.
I was being hospitable,
But
but
there's
if
also, I will say, there's something else that goes into this because, like, if you misplace our hostage, like, we're gonna quote unquote misplace your hostage too. So Haydith kind of coming here under the radar without telling everybody was a very politically dangerous move.
Wow.
Was like a tremendously politically risky move for the other hostage and national relations and everything like that. You don't know if it was just recklessness or measured prediction or what it was, but she decided that this was worth the risk. So that continues to reinforce the idea that Haydith is a little bit of a wild card where she's like, I mean, I know I'm in the center of this like huge tense hostage situation, but I guess I'm just gonna run away and fuck off and leave everybody wondering where I am and dealing with the fallout of me having disappeared entirely. So it was a risky move. Is she very politically cunning and made a educated guess about how people would handle it and things would work out? Or did she just not give a fuck and recklessly ran off to New Cyre? Who knows?
Ryan, I
Yeah.
played that dragon chess game with her. Could I gain any insight from
I'll
that?
give you an advantage insight check because you played dragon chess with her. Yes.
Okay.
And you're
Okay.
proficient with dragon chess too on top.
Yeah. Okay.
Advantage,
Use
yeah.
one of the tactical mind features to add a D10 to that because it's an ability check. That scene. Unnatural 20 now.
Sure thing. Yeah, no problem. You gather it is the former. Haydith proved in your chess match to be a pretty insightful and cunning adversary as far as tactics go. Dragon chess translates not only into the battlefield, but into other logic games such as, playing politics and whatnot. You get the sense that her coming here was, at the end of the day, no matter what, was a combo. It was definitely reckless to come here. There would there, if she ever goes back, there will certainly be a ton of finger wagging and valid finger wagging. But you don't think she came here like just, I want to get married and stupidly ran off. You think that there was some measure of tactical evaluation. She probably measured how well Braylon would be at handling her disappearance, her fallout, keeping up with her as she fled. Eventually, if not immediately, you get a sense that she didn't run off foolishly, recklessly, but not foolishly.
It's a calculated risk. She took a calculated risk, not a wild risk.
Calculated risk. Yeah, she is every bit the wild card she proclaims to be, it seems, but a measured wild card. She measures the deck before she deals it.
Well, you and Rowen should like her.
That's what she said. The Requiem. She's
She
like,
said it.
I hope, or when she introduced herself, and basically said that she hoped that the prince would choose something nobody would expect, essentially.
All this.
Okay.
So it would be useful if it'd be useful, interesting. It'd be interesting to see what your measure of her would be, Rowen.
Oh, I look forward to talking to her. I'm really looking forward to talking to her, actually.
Well, she should be still downstairs if she wants.
It's, whatever happens when it happens. That's good. It's cool.
So, and we're inside one of our rooms that's silenced and
Yes,
everything,
this
right?
is a private conversation.
Rowen,
Mm-hmm.
so how was your day
It was
beyond the dragon chess?
largely uneventful. I had a lovely chat with an old friend. Came home. Lena, have I
The lovely
spoken a
chat, that's
lie?
all.
No,
Anyone should
yeah,
be able to look at her and see that she's teasing you.
yeah. Lena's like, I suppose not.
You trusted me twice with your life, by the way. I'm sorry it seemed frivolous. Thank you. I do appreciate it. All right. nosy. Yeah, I went to Rukondral and I had a talk with
You
Haruk.
went where?
Yes,
No,
yes.
you're having the same
Do you
Cross and
see?
Roll's not
And
having the same reaction I did.
she looks, she she looks at Len and says, "Do you see how you look? Do you see how you look when you say that?"
I just here to speak my sword. Please leave me out of this.
You sent the message. I said it in the message. Did you? I mean, I didn't say it right outright, but like you should have been able. Why is everyone surprised? I mean, I basically said it straight up. Yes, I went to Rukondral. I have friends there, one in particular.
Was this a was this a sudden desire to check in, or is there something cooking inside that brain of yours?
Well,
And I'm willing to bet good money that there's something cooking inside that brain of yours.
we have been communicating since the beginning of courting season.
Like I give Lois a look like, wow.
Lois is aware.
Oh,
Thank
of
you for
course.
keeping my discretion. I appreciate it. Uh, so yeah, we made the arrangements for me to go and visit him. Now, as far as why I went at that particular moment, uh, well, it was because I saw Sienna. And after watching him very, very closely for 2 years, I know how he plays. That was my cue. So I went. She has a good idea as far as it goes. It won't work. Not with her doing it. Or let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. The juice probably isn't worth the squeeze when there's another option that is more challenging, but potentially a lot more profitable. See, the thing with what Sienna's is offering is that it's essentially backdoor the Syrians backdooring their way into his territory. It is massively disrespectful. I am not saying that they can't pull it off. I'm saying that Haruk told me she was here, not the other way around. Do you understand?
That you mean Haruk is very clever and has spies everywhere.
I have no idea how he gets his information. What I will tell you is that he is it is very easy to judge the Dar by the way they look. So maybe as a Karnathi, you can respect the honor of a general. If you deal with him honorably, he will deal with you honorably. If you don't, you get the other end of it. I think, and this is just like what I am about to suggest is even more of a stretch than Thronehold. All right. But if we can pull it off, it would be very, very profitable for everyone involved.
Ryan, may I make an
Hey.
inside check on Rowan and see where is she going
She's
at?
about to tell
Well,
you. She's
Okay.
literally about to tell you.
She's about to tell you.
I'm joking, but okay.
Don't look ahead in the slide deck. Let her
So
finish her PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. Questions at the end.
So after listening to what Sienna had to say, I realized that if the prince could purchase or lease space close to the border and then run sorties into the moorlands for salvage and reclamation, he would immediately have an industry that would give him two things: materials so that he can build, and assets that he can trade. And that is what he needs to become viable. Now, I understand that creating an alliance of any kind between Orgrave and Taruk is probably not on the table. But I think if Haruk married me, it's traditional to give a bridal gift, and he would be willing to give me land as a gift that he would never cede to a Wynarn. That land could be put into a trust because I can't own it. It would essentially become a Dargunian protectorate, which would be a damn good thing because Cyre, as a military, can't protect itself right now. And no one's going to just fly into his borders if he's given their protection. Now, it's probably going to have to be a substantial percentage of what comes out of the salvage. Maybe we weight it more in the beginning and less as it goes on. The lease we're talking about is going to have to be a long one. I don't know. Maybe we ask for a millennia and we get for 250 years. I don't know. But if I were to marry Haruk and see, and that were to happen, in this case, the prince would want to marry Rose. It gives him a workforce.
And an entry into the Mournlands.
It's a lot of ifs and like it's a lot of working pieces. But it means the Sirens get a homeland that they
Why not?
have of their
Why not?
own.
Why not separate these two ideas apart from one another? Because truly they are separate entities.
Walk me. Nobody
Cyre,
knows anything yet. Let's just walk every. Yeah, I need to walk it. Quiet.
How many
like.
people in this room right now?
Cyre,
Four of us in shadow and
This
defenders.
is, I will assume that this is a private conversation,
Okay.
as it will be for the extent of it.
Okay, thank you.
Cyre needs an income opportunity regardless of what else happens. Regardless.
Yeah.
There are people here that have presented opportunities for union with the prince that could apply useful factors into that sort of arrangement. A union with Rose puts access to folks who can come and go with a degree of autonomy and less risk in the Mournlands. Not no risk, but less risk. But even if they start bringing out material, because there are other people who are
Mhm.
playing that game currently. If they start doing it more efficiently and with greater success, because there is some knowledge that already belongs to Cyre in that way. There is information that belongs to House Cannith in that way. The Warforged also have some tribal knowledge of what exists across the Mournland border. If they start pulling stuff out at an increased pace and it is profitable, it is going to draw a security problem. There is an opportunity inherent in this particular set of people. The prince who has the clout to lay claim to relics and knowledge coming out of the Mournlands, out of what was Cyre.
It's best claim if it's
He
anyone.
He has access to a heir of House Cannith, a family that until the morning was exceptionally prominent, if my understanding is correct from Rowen. That gives them the ability to not only know what to pull out, but extract value from it, which is what the Lady Architect's proposal was about. In addition to her being Siren and already at work with the people, et cetera, et cetera. Security is still an issue, but Diana, or perhaps the Lesh, have access and proximity, so material coming out of the Mournlands could be secured until it gets to a spot where it can be leveraged. Whether that spot is here, which is further away, or someplace that is closer to the borderlands.
I'm going to counter. Same idea, exact same idea. But it keeps the ranks a little closer. I am also a Cannith heir. And if we go in the city of Lyrenton, I know it, and it's close, it's on the road to Whitehearth, which was my hometown, and it was the center of Cannith innovation, right? And then Rose has literally the people who can protect us and can lead us around.
Rowan,
Yes.
with all due respect and concern, you are going to be far too busy.
Fuck. You are correct. Thank you.
I understand you wanting to leverage that. And
you are right. You are right.
if we were already established and weren't already being pulled like taffy at the carnival.
Yeah. Fuck.
You, much like all the rest of us, cannot be everywhere at once. Would that we could. With Mr. Shadow on your side, you could perhaps be in two places at once. But there's limited utility inside of that space. But to that end, there may be other people who were refugees that survived from there And I'm going to share something that came out of my walks and talks today. And that's I do not believe, and this is with all due academic rigor, I do not believe Vestige is a fraud.
Okay.
Good to know.
Dun,
I
dun,
don't think that
dun.
she is she is cold reading anyone. I do not get the impression of flim flam. It is a divine gift as opposed to a arcane gift, but I have seen enough of the parallels to know that I have got the ability to, on a short-term basis, gain knowledge and skill that is beyond my ken. What they are doing is a heightened extrapolation of that same technique. Uh, I call it borrowed knowledge. They are taking that another step forward. Um, just if there are other Canada's survivors from those places that you mentioned, or just other survivors, there is perhaps an opportunity that Vestige could help.
Well, um,
Identify opportunities.
well, that's
And by identifying opportunities, decrease the risk for the folks who are going to be in country,
okay.
specifically meaning Rose and the other Warforged that are flocked to her banner.
Okay, quick question. That is an excellent point, Lois. But I must ask, would she be able to know something the dead would know, but the living do not? Because your plan might hinge on that.
I mean, and there's even more than that. Um, you talked about survivors. You mean survivors actually living in the moorlands after 2 years? Because if it sounds like
No,
she's a medium.
no.
Okay, so what is she helping with?
What she is doing
Hmm.
is she is able to connect to spirits that have some sort of attachment to the people that she's talking to.
All right, so
These
she's
are these
like
are
a
people
medium.
who have like a medium,
All right,
people who have passed beyond. That is the knowledge that she is tapping into.
okay.
It does not appear, based on the discussions that we had, that it is memory of the living individual who is there. So she's not reading a mind and parroting back knowledge that person already knew, but was just getting reminded of it. It was
No, I follow you. She's
personality and
the dead that are attached, right? The dead that are attached to that person. So like there are dead that
yes,
are attached to me. My uncle, he's not, we don't know about him, but like my mom, my dad, right? Those dead, they are attached to me. So in theory, if she were to come into my presence, she could channel either my mom or my dad because those dead are no, I get it. I get it. Let me ask you something. Does she just chant if she were to walk into a space all by herself with no other living individual around her, could she just talk to the spirits that are there? Or can she only speak to the spirits that are connected to an
I
entity in
I
front of
did
them?
not have the wherewithal to do an in-depth investigation to it wasn't like I had a full day and a plan to ferret out
No, it's
exactly the breadth of her mediumship.
yeah, no, no, I
What
get
I
it.
can tell you is that with additional effort, not only can she talk to the spirits of, and Lois will gesture to everybody in the room except for Cross, not only to us, the spirits of the people that we've left behind, but at that point, Lois will turn her head and look at Cross. With effort, she can talk to the spirits of Warforged who have passed. She can't assume the counts, but she can talk spirit, which has a great deal of opportunity. That's why I, what I don't know is, and my my gut check is that they probably would not be interested, but I didn't approach. Uh, they they are very pious, but not in the Thranian sense of pious. They are pious in the exploratory of path and self and divinity, um, not in zealotry. They may not be interested in an opportunity that would have benefit beyond catharsis and allowing people to get closure.
You know something?
But
I'd respect them more if that was their take. I would respect the heck out of that.
but if it's a skill, it may be learnable.
You wanting to pick up a new
I
skill, Lois?
I don't need to be involved. There is there is opportunity, and there may be other changelings with that gift. Mr. Shadow kind of indicated that that was the case. Am I misremembering? And she will pause and look at Mr. Shadow.
Goes, sorry, what? There's a lot of business talk and a lot of things about paperwork and coming together and seeing Kumbaya. But what did you want from me? Sorry.
What are you doing tomorrow, Shadow? Oh,
I work for you. Underutilized, but very pretty at all times these days.
I am so sorry. Would you like to speak to the priestess tomorrow and find out some more about the gifts? that she has? Is this something that's teachable? Are you born with it? It's your
Sure, I could
lore.
certainly try. I mean, hey, look, I'm an information broker. That's how you met me. You want information? I'll get you fucking information.
Thank you, baby.
Alright. See if the priest's full of shit or not.
But the short is that there is an opportunity for an economic engine
Yeah.
that would benefit a non a currently non-quarreling threesome inside of Kenneth, which would be beneficial, benefit Siri. It would benefit potentially either some segment coming out of Dragoon, depending on how we wanted to approach and orchestrate it. Um, Either CMS clan, or if we wanted to go, via a back channel with Rowen, to her contact, and do it at a national level, it would provide an income stream. Initially, it's not going to be a huge one, but potentially it's going to be significantly valuable and valuable to a bunch of people who could absolutely use the income.
Uh,
But I see
well,
that as
definitely.
a separate entity from all of the wedding nonsense. I mean, and I use the word nonsense in the best conceivable terms, but whether or not Rowan marries the Lesh, whether Rowan marries somebody else, whether the prince marries Rose, whether the prince marries somebody else, this is a financial opportunity that sits aside from potentially. It just has to be sold to the people who could gain from it, and it presents an opportunity for House Leora to negotiate it and get a percentage.
I hear what you're saying, and I know what you
It would.
mean. But I would remind you both that this is a courtship season. And the question that he is asking right now is, who is he going to marry? That is the question that is on the table. And it actually affects this. Like it does affect the outcome. It may be separate, but it they are connected. They're not unrelated. And I assure you that if I am able to marry Farouk, everything changes. So I don't, I disagree that the marriage nonsense is unrelated. And I like everything that you've done. I do. I think it is amazing, but I think we have to consider all of that in regards to who we recommend the prince should marry, because that is what he's asked of us directly.
For folks, I completely agree. For example, if we tell him if your plan does work, Rowan, and they move down to Dargoon, Haydith wouldn't be of much use to them down in Dargoon. She's more immediate use to them over here in Breland because she has contacts in the courts. And Sienna is, well, that's obvious. It kind of removes the whole need for Sienna.
if he if the prince marries Sienna, any assistance is off the table, I assure you. Uh, and it would probably make him awfully cranky and difficult to, marry.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question that's floating around inside the room, but no one has directly asked. When it came time to get into this whole courting thing, and I was no different than anybody else. I was I was an unwilling participant, but that has ameliorated itself to a large degree. I get the impression, Rowan, that a an arrangement with the Lesh would have a similar amelioration for yourself personally. Then what is it going to take to make that happen for you? Because at the end of the day, business and all of this other nonsense
Oh,
is
Lois, you don't get it.
nonsense.
You don't
You
get
need to
it.
be happy.
I would love that. I would. Um, see, he's a warlord, and the Dar, they don't necessarily like the first thing he has to do is make sure that his chiefs fall in line. It's not that his position is precarious, but it's just the culture. Marrying me presents problems for him. And I told him this, by the way, right? Not even listening to me. So yeah. Um, yeah.
So, what power do we need to bring to bear to lower that barrier of entry? Is there something that we could do with what we have available to us? And not to mince any words, we have access to some mind altering material.
No, I would never.
We, we
It's
we
not.
could definitely convince some of the chiefs.
Well, we can. I'm not talking about necessarily convincing them, but making them open to the possibilities that are implicit, because that is certainly within our ethical bounds and
There's two
within
things.
our ability.
There's two things. Both are equally difficult. One might not even exist. Oh shit, Ryan, you may want to make me roll for this. Right now, I'm just playing as a fun thing.
Okay.
But if you want to make me roll for it, that's fine.
What are you
Uh,
rolling for?
so I could describe it as vaguely as a man, there's some artifact that's like 10,000 years old that he's kind of obsessed with. We found that, he'd absolutely marry me. Does Carmen know exactly what it is? Yes, she does. But I feel like Rowen might have heard him, like maybe he's put things out of every now and then, and she knows there's something old he's looking for.
A big display case with a with nothing into it
Yeah.
but a label tag.
Importance.
Do you want to privately message what exactly it is you're referring to?
Uh, yes. I will, as soon as I find it again. Um,
I love it when
I'm
my players outlore me.
so listen, my internet is really trying hard to fuck off. What I can tell you is that in his title, it's like Lahesh, Haruk, uh Shirak Tor, something of the Red Sword. Clan chief of the Rockthal, wielder of the Red Sword. If it is what I'm thinking it is, that red sword was like the sword of the last Dakani Empire, um the last individual to hold all of the Dar in one people. And if he held that, all of the Dar would bow. Like that would end his troubles. And I feel like she might know there's something old he's looking for. Like she wouldn't have the details.
I'm pretty sure he either has it or a replica of it. I would be surprised if he kept the replica because he's literally known as Haruk of the Scarlet Blade. That's like one of his big names.
Yeah. Uh I will I will find
Why don't we
it.
just circle back? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
circle back to that. We'll say part or Rowan
Yeah.
hasn't thought of it in the moment. Whatever.
But here's the thing that Sienna did get right. She got a few things right. Haruk is looking to kind of change the perception of the Dar, and to work within commerce, right? And to play a part in Corvair, uh, as a bigger piece, obviously. Um, they need a little bit of a PR makeover, yeah? That's
That's what
basically what Sienna was saying.
she. Oh,
That
that's what
is
she. That's
that
exactly
is
what she told me.
something that we can do. That is something that New Cyre can do in an alliance. Meanwhile, New Cyre needs a little bit of protection, and they need a place to set up shop. They should not integrate. It's a terrible idea. Something like this needs to be done over the course of, honestly, hundreds of years. But if they
It,
had a place of their own where integration could happen slowly, like Lois Anna would live to see it, Cross may live to see it. Uh, Ludvig and I probably won't, right? But in
well,
250,
there's some ways,
300,
perhaps.
400 years, yeah, right on.
If you don't mind becoming
They
a vampire.
things could be a little bit more fluid, but for now, we establish it as a protectorate. Um, Sienna cannot create an alliance between Haruk and Orgrave, but I sure the fuck can. Well, we can, but we can't do it if she does the thing.
So it can't be Sienna.
No. Now, don't get me wrong. I would very much like to hire her. I don't know how I'm going to pull that shit
It's
off.
a sh it's a
Uh,
shame because I liked him. I did.
I like her
Impressed me.
too.
Well, and we part of part of any of that integration into larger Corvair is partially going to take financing. And to that end, a an external revenue stream would be beneficial, whether it's at the nation state level or it's at the at the significant clan level is, I don't want to say it's immaterial because it's very much material depending on what that internal parlance within Dragoon is. And I don't have any idea what that picture looks like.
It's
It's
it's feudal. It's rocky. It's, it's
I'm
not,
going to
it's,
say,
ooh.
in a unique kind of moment of voice, Kira, who is usually Lois's very silent defender, puts up a little hand, says, "I, I'm sorry. Can I just ask a question?
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
always.
This Haruk guy, he's really like he's got eyes everywhere, really sort of sneakily powerful. That's what you're all saying, right?
Yes, he's by reputation. If he lives up to his reputation, yes,
Very brutal, sort of. He'll do whatever, you know.
yes.
Why? Maybe I just don't know, but why isn't he like just taken out Siana at this point? Like, why isn't he just sent someone to just offer or something?
Oh,
Maybe her.
I can answer that. I think I can answer that question. I think I can. I could be wrong, but I think I can. Um, he wants to see what the prince is going to do. He knew I was on, we've been talking. He knew I was on my way. And he knows me well enough to know that I would see Siana and come to him.
Did
He
you
did tell
tell
me she
that?
was here.
Have you told the group that Mr. Shah or that Haruk basically told you, Rowan, that you have his express permission to take her out if you wanted?
I have not mentioned that.
Okay,
I have kept that to myself.
understood.
Now,
If that's the case, Kira just kind of goes, "Oh, okay, sure."
now, don't get me wrong. I am certain that at this point in time, if a terrible accident were to befall her, he would not weep. He would not gnash his teeth or rent his clothing, like he would definitely be able to soldier on. But to the best of my knowledge, he has not actively asked, like, I don't know that an order has been laid down. And that's not to say it's
House
not coming.
House sits on you that how much confidence do you have in Sienna's life if she goes back to Darkone without the prince's hand?
So one of the reasons that I uh, would like to find a reason to perhaps hire her into service is because I am mostly certain this has not been explicitly said, and I do want to make that clear. He did not say if this happens, but just because I know this man, I don't know that I give her 50-50. I don't. Maybe. Nah, no. No. No, I will say this. I also don't know that it's like going to happen immediately. He can be patient if he wants to make a point. But yeah, I do I think that she'll live through this? Yeah. Do I think that she'll live through New Cyre? Yeah, I do. I do. Do I think she lives much past New Cyre? Not 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 without a good story behind it. It was a big betrayal. And the truth of the matter is,
Rowan, I
I
just want you at this point. I want you to make me like an insight check, just
okay.
because you know the culture pretty well.
I think that is going to be a 17 when it grows up. Give me a moment, please.
Mhm.
Actually, it's going to be a 19.
Nice.
Okay. 19, very nice. Basically, I just want to put forth the reminder that Dargoon is a feudal nation where Siana, as champion, as long as there's no one above her, it doesn't sound like there's anyone above her, in her particular clan, she has full authority to do whatever the fuck she wants with her clan and her everything. Um, Farouk, on paper, can absolutely come over and say, "Hey, fuck off! Don't do that."
I didn't think that
Um,
that's what he was going to do. I just think that she's got to travel between here and where her clans are. And that's a whole lot of traveling she's got to do.
no, absolutely. My point being
Oh,
is that like maybe Haruk might have a problem with like integrating like the Wynarns into Dargoon, which is supposed to be for, Dargoon, blah, 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 blah. But like in the law set down by Haruk himself in Dargoon, she's legally allowed to do what she's doing.
yeah.
So
So
Haruk feeling
50,
betrayed and upset.
50 if she doesn't pull it off. 50-50 if it doesn't go her way.
Rowan, if it doesn't go her way, could she and the Siren stand up to Lesh and his armies? Could they survive that?
Well, here's the point that I want to make is that there is politics involved.
Yeah.
And Haruk is restrained by certain
Yeah.
politics. While he is pretty brutal and while he is pretty whatever, he plays the politics.
Yeah,
and that's what makes him so good. He's a strategist.
Savvy.
So he can't just go around
Yeah.
killing champions and chieftains wantonly.
He's not gonna waste a resource. That doesn't mean that things don't happen. Oh, I don't know. Like listen, if what you're trying, the thing we have to deal with right now is the weddings. Let's focus on the weddings, y'all.
Okay.
But yeah, the next time I go to Rukon Draw, also, I need to have a hell of an offer and a hell of a gift.
I still have that object from Zalago, the gift I never gave. Could that be considered a bit of a tribute to him, perhaps? It was by this brilliant gnomish inventor. Cost me like 400 gold. Could that be a good tribute? Was that Ryan?
No, that's pretty good. I mean, 400 gold alone. Yeah, what was it? Like a clockwork kind of.
It was like this square with like a binding of metal ropes.
It was like a Rubik's cube kind of. It was like a crazy
like a
like.
puzzle.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
puzzle?
it was like
Yeah.
it was a crazy gnomish like clockwork cog puzzle that was worth 400 gold. So
He
it
will
was
like that,
pretty
actually.
cool.
Okay, that's something you could offer him as a gift officially from House Leora.
So I want you to make one last insight check for me, Rowan, to see if you can kind of, or investigation, your choice, just see if you can kind of like disseminate the potential politics going on underneath Siana and Dargoon or Harush's relationship. Haruk, excuse me.
All right, we're going to take investigation, and it's a 21.
21.
Nice.
So there are two choices here, or there's two potential choices here, where either Siana's stupid and thinks she's pulled the wool over the Harush's eyes, and she's gonna marry this guy to improve Dargoon relationships. And she's gonna get like, but she's it's not gonna go well for her one way or another. The other, and in that instance, even in that instance, if she were to marry Wynarn, he'd get into Dargoon, he'd get into the clan lands. It's a matter of how long they'd last in that politics, in which maybe Orc Brave can kind of maybe work his magic and pull them out, and maybe something could be worked out with Dargoon. Anyway, the second option, which you don't know Siana well enough to know which one it is, but if Siana's like maybe played her politics clever, maybe she's doing just that, where she's kind of asking for forgiveness and permission, going and hopefully marrying Prince. And what's waiting for her back there is a great deal of favor with the surrounding clans. So if Farouk made direct action against her in retaliation, that would upset the clans, which could cause instability and civil war in Dargon. So you don't know Sienna well enough to know if she's prepped well enough for that. But as you look at it and your time you've spent in Dargon and understanding their politics, it very much is a popularity gain on the feudal level, which clans get along, who's popular, and popularity can overturn the wrath of the Lesh if not played carefully.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just giving you information because
Oh, no,
you're
no, no. And
there and you
I will
And
actually
thank you
share
for
that.
that.
I will share all of that with everyone, but I will finish it off with, if I need to stand, if I need to abstain from making this decision, it would make sense. Uh, but yeah, her marrying Orgrave does complicate me marrying Haruk, and her not marrying Orgrave.
Helps you marry
Actually, yeah.
Farouk?
Yeah, I mean, he knows what's
Yeah.
going on.
Here's the other thing, and I think and I'll have nothing else to say after this point. And it's very much a side point in all this, but it's important to Leora. Rowen, if you chose to marry him and willingly want to marry him, I'm no legal expert, but I think you'd have to step down as Baron.
I don't think so.
Let me say this. Here's the thing.
And
If whether I
Ludwig's
do or
right.
not,
Sorry, I still playing my throat.
I have the limits of sovereignty right here.
whether I do or not, if I
Take your
can
time.
create a home for Cyre, and in doing so, create an alliance that strengthens both nations, I would be a foolish not to spend the coin of the baronetcy on that. I would be a fool not to step down as baron. So I think listen, I can argue it. I have thought about it. I have thought of all of the ways it could go wrong and go right, and there is a lot that's wrong. There's a lot. There's wow, it could be very bad, but also it could be very interesting.
Yeah.
I understand the point that you're trying to make, Ludwig. But there is a lot of room for parse in that statement.
Well,
And it comes down to authority and powers. If, for example, Rowan was invested with the same degree of authority that the Lesh has, then yes, that would be a problem. If she were treated as a consort to the warlord,
The warlords would never
with
follow me.
no powers beyond whatever personal influence that she may have, that could very easily be legally outside the bounds of the court's edicts.
I can't bear him children, and I can't order his people.
And frankly, there is enough desire in certain circles to make that to make that a viable alternative, because we all know, and everybody cover their ears, we all know that the 12 are interested in decreasing the scope of the Court edicts.
Mr. Shadow will say, hey, let me just pop in there real quick. I just want to, just for my own clarity, maybe all our clarity, just be sure of something. We're saying, like, for sure, House Leora stands behind getting rid of the Court edicts. I mean, obviously, like, on the side, like, we're not going to go around promoting it or anything, but I mean, between us in this room, obviously, we're not going to go shout that from the rooftops. I'm not an idiot. But in this room, we're like kind of getting rid of it, huh?
I would
I'm
argue
waffling.
I would
Because
there's
there's important
waffling
parts of
my
it.
ass. You guys have submitted like a full motion.
No, it does not explicitly. I feel like the problem with the Court edicts is they were bound by the Galfor Empire, and the Galfor Empire has gone to House of Law. It's supposed to be enforced if it can't be enforced. That's the problem. But there was a massive difference between taking a house apart, brick by brick, and just taking a bunch of sledgehammers to the load-bearing wall.
Oh, no, whatever. Tactics aside, you know what I mean? Like, do it slow, do it fast, do it fancy, do it quietly, whatever. But just to be clear, between all of us in this room, we're like actively working to erode the Court edicts. Like, for good.
Erode is correct. It does not mean remove, because there is purpose behind what they represent. But the passing of the Gallifreyan Empire and the mourning have instilled significant change. The Court edicts are very hidebound, and they have not adapted well to change. The environment is very much different now than when they were written.
So we're saying kind of. We're like kind of eroding their power a little.
They need to be relaxed.
The laws need to be match the age they are in. And
so we're not trying to establish like a dragon marked empire to rule over here with you guys at the top and then as enforcers. Sorry, I just have daydreams. I don't know.
The dragon marks have a responsibility.
A changeling can hope. Okay, yes. I'm allowed to have dreams.
You're like the first changing with the dragon mark in front of. No wait, scratch that. I never said. I don't know that yet. Yeah. Do we know that yet?
Nobody but Cross is aware.
Yeah, okay, never mind. But it's like, yes, you can dream. I know, but it's like that is something.
Could be cool, is all I'm saying. I mean, how well is the Queen of Ondare and the King of Braylon and the Triumvirs? How well have they really led everything, huh? Never mind. I'm just gonna stop putting ideas in the heads of some of the most powerful people in the country.
Hey. Do we want to head on out and do we want to break for now and come back later?
Yeah, let's get some drinks. And with that,
drinks.
We'll take our break. We'll take our 15-minute break. We'll be back. Yeah. Without plans of conquest of the whole of the, at least not yet. At least
not yet.
No comment.
Listen, we gotta get married first, and that is clearly going to be really freaking difficult.
And here's the thing: if Ludvig marries Haydith, technically speaking, it is completely within the Edith Court edicts.
That's because there's nothing in the. Why I was like putting it out there as Sister Sean, like, because if we are trying to get rid of the Court edicts, we're marrying a Wynarn off. To a dragon mark.
If I ever chose to, in fact, marry Haydith, Ludwig would say it is completely in line with the Court edicts because the Court edicts do not say anything about explicitly forbid a Wynarn family member from joining a Dragonmark house.
Oh.
And even check. Go ahead and check. See if it's in there.
If it is in there, it's right they're going to let it happen?
See, if it is in there, it's right next to the part that says a dog can't play basketball.
Yeah, Ludwig. You know what? I can see it. I can see it now. Queen of Ondare, the High, whatever the fuck, Thrain, the King of Braylon, King Boreal, sitting around the room going, "Oh, Ludwig's right. It's not on the piece of paper. I guess we'll just let her through."
Feels like it's not like there'll be resistance, but we'd figure it out. Whatever. Yeah.
We would figure it out, buddy. I know you would.
We will
Like
figure it out. Yes, we
Ludwig,
will.
Ludwig would return to
Could
his
be
chess
real good.
match.
I mean, if you want to erode the core food or something, bang.
Like enough. Table.
Okay,
Like
sorry, I'm gonna go
meeting
drink.
over. No, no word of it leaves this
Yep,
room.
I'm gonna go drink.
I'm
All right.
gonna go.
We'll go to our place now.
Like plotting. That's what just the last. I'm sorry, plotting. That's just what the last hour or so was.
Yeah, fuck it. We
Yeah,
got a plot. I expect big things from House Leora.
yeah. It's like it's a. We can talk later after the thing, but
Okay.
afterwards. But yeah. My one concern about the one immediate concern I have, at least when it comes to Leo, about the Haruk deal, is that I have a lot of concerns, but one is that like Rowen might need to step down.
Well, even if she, well, I will say this above table, even if she does like marry Haruk, this being the unique game that it is, I don't think that would mean it's impossible for Rowan to continue playing the game. I think she could.
She could do
I
it from behind the
foresee.
scenes.
Yeah,
There'd
well,
be
she
some
could be
hat
behind the
swapping.
scenes. She could travel with you guys at times, but there's definitely going to come a point where House Leora is like a continental entity. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like multi nation force, which means that you guys aren't going to be like hanging out in each other's corner every day.
yeah,
So this is going to happen eventually, one way or the other, where Ludvig,
yeah,
you're in Karnath, and Lois is in Zalarco, and Rowan's running
yeah.
things in
That might have to.
wherever.
That might eventually be it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's probably exactly where things are leading. If you guys are going to be like the Viscounts and High Seneschals of a Dragonmark house, so Rowan being the like I don't know the fucking cool goblin word for it, but if she's going to become like the princess consort or queen consort, whatever,
the
to
ukaka.
Dargoon, yeah, the ukaka. Um, it's not gonna. She won't be able to be Baron. She probably won't be allowed to even be a Leora technically, much like the prince consort of Ondare. But she can still be involved in the campaign. She can still travel with you guys, and
Yeah,
she can still have influence.
yeah. I'm like one thing you can prep when I get ready is I maybe not deep conversation, but I definitely would play like I'd start playing the other suitors in like Dragon Chess to get a sense of like what their minds are like.
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's one way, it works. It's a method.
It works. It absolutely works. No doubt about that. Okay, so you guys go to a little drinking, a little hanging out that night. As you guys hang out in the Swan Inn, you're gonna see the various members of the uh, you know, suitors kind of come through here and there. You are going, and I'm gonna name them out. See if I rattle anything loose with you guys. Who knows? Let me see here. We'll say Cross is like, oh, I must shut down for a time or something super
He,
warforged and spooky.
he's had a long day.
Yes. I have so many documents. I can barely keep up. All right, let me scroll. Oh, that was too much scrolling. Fuck me. There we go. Um, yeah, you guys. Yeah, you guys see all kinds of people come through. You see, Rose wander through, making her way from whatever she was about doing today. She spends time with her Warforged companions. They don't sit around a table. They kind of just stand in a corner, really, and speak. They don't. Warforged are weird. They don't drink or sit around or get drunk or anything like that. So. Um, Lady Talalara comes around for she comes around, has a drink. Um, she seems to get along with a couple people in here. She seems to be of a local interest, being a member of the court regardless. Um, Vestige will probably come in merely to go upstairs and get some sleep, but is definitely noted to have entered and exited. Probably gesturing kindly in your direction, Lois, and other people maybe avoid her gaze. her, the unusualness of her abilities, but she seems to have made a friend in you, Lois, and gives you a little wave, but heads upstairs regardless. Um, Elena Corla DeCaneth actually comes in, and I'll say she comes in and has a drink with Lady Telelara, and the two of them seem to buddy a little bit. Both of them have been longish term members of the Syrian court together. I guess it kind of makes sense they would know each other, even though they're
Makes
competing.
sense. Makes sense.
Siana of Capadour makes fast friends among people here, despite the sort of high class of everyone around. She finds it not difficult at all to make friends. It seems that her sort of laid back, confident attitude seems to really draw individuals in. And very quickly, she finds herself surrounded with drinking friends who maybe you wouldn't expect to be drinking with a hobgoblin in this place. And eventually, the apple of your eye, Ludwig, the woman of your dreams, night. The person you're loaning your defender out to, Haydith Wynarn, Princess of Karnath, comes in. She is briefly invited over to Lady Talalara and Ilia Corla DeCanith, who are like, "Oh, come hang out." And it's a very short conversation where they're like, clearly like, "Oh," like the two of them are a little in their drinks and they're having fun, but um,
It's
the
intense.
princess sort of evoking Wednesday Addams a little bit, kind of listens sort of blankly and then kind of shares a couple of words, which sucks the air out of the conversation a little bit. And then leaves very suddenly pleased with herself, Princess Haydith, and the two other women kind of go back to speaking like, "God, she's so weird."
Can I do an insight check on Laura and Elena?
About what?
Like it feels like what their reaction to
Oh, the reaction
what
very clearly is like,
mm,
"Oh, she's kind of strange, isn't she? She's a little weird," or like she maybe said something that kind of threw them off or was like a little inappropriate or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, she's weird." Like they've decided they don't like her too much.
oh
Haydith seems to have done that intentionally. She seems to be fucking with them, as it were.
hmm
Yeah, and that's kind of the scene here at the inn. She definitely shares a glance with you, Ludwig. Maybe even a couple in the tavern, kindly. But as you are with your crew, she just kind of maybe she just kind of like has a drink in the corner with your defender nearby, and then she goes to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, you get a little thumbs up from your defender. All is
And
going well, it seems.
and I feel like there'd be an understanding between me and Storm. Like, the, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. He just gives you a little thumbs up, like as if to say, like, all is well on the evening watch.
I give him a small nod, like I does. Oh wait, does Rowan want to talk with Haydith right now?
Rowan's eating right now, pretty sure. But yeah, does Rowan want to interact? Oh, no, you're not. Never mind. Sorry, my apologies.
Uh,
Ooh,
honestly, Rowan it would probably be talking to whoever wanted to talk with her, but she's very interested in
taking a
just
load off.
watching. Yeah, she's
Uh,
had a very busy day and she kind of wants to process. Um, she's probably mindlessly futzing with something, making something, doing something, not but clearly just kind of off in her own world.
got it. Uh, Magnificent.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you guys just kind of, yeah, you chill. House Leora just like has some drinks. This dragonborn has vanished. Cross has vanished a little bit too. Um, and yeah, you guys just have some drinks. You head to bed.
Um,
And yes, Ludwig?
if I could,
Sure.
I think I'd go take my dragon chess set and go over to Lara and Elena. I haven't spoken with Elena yet.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you head over to them. They're just kind of like having drinks and being real friendly, and the two of them kind of look up at you, um, and are very polite. I'm just gonna get out their handout so we can look them in the face.
Look me in
There's
the eye.
Alina, and hold for it, Lady.
Talara.
Ta-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Your favorite name
There
of
you
the whole
are.
game.
It is my favorite name. Yeah, the two of them kind of look. Uh, Talalara says, sort of welcomes you. She says, welcome, Viceroy. And the lady Elena says, oh, yes, indeed, Viceroy. How are you this evening?
I'm I'm doing very well for myself. Well, how much you ladies be doing?
Uh, they kind of they kind of laugh like there's an inside joke or something. I don't know. But the Lady Talalara says, oh, we're just fine this evening. Just having some drinks. It's been a interesting couple of days, has it not?
Like, would it be rude of me to join?
Make a persuasion check.
What scene? But I'm gonna add my tactical mind.
Sure.
Yeah, that's like a 25.
Yeah, they go, they kind of like look at each other with a smile and they both go, oh, sure. Yes, please join us. Join us. Yes, join us. Why not? And they kind of pull up a stool between them. And you're like, oh, well, cool.
And well, I proceed to make some small talk for a little while.
All right.
And,
Make a little small talk. You chat with them. They're a little in their cups. They're not talking business or anything particularly important. They're just kind of enjoying themselves.
even better. And at some point, like after 10 or so minutes, I'd ask them if either of them were interested in dragon chess.
Uh, hmm. Tell Lara, we'll say, I've been known to play a game every now and then. Ilona says, oh, well, then you can play him. My father used to make me play dragon chess. I couldn't stand it, really. So much better things to be doing.
Because like,
Talalara will say, maybe tomorrow. You have me at a disadvantage. I'm a little in my cups, I must admit.
is that Lena or Talara?
That was Talalara.
Okay, maybe tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Very well
Perhaps
then.
tomorrow we might have a game before the event.
Very well, that sounds lovely. That's like I'm just thinking to myself, like, is there anything else I need to do before the night's over? And you know what? No, I think well, I would ask Lady Lena. We haven't had much time to talk much one on one. Could I see you at your shop or wherever it is you do your walk tomorrow?
Yes, of course, of course. If that is what you wish.
Thank you, thank you very much. I'll s- I'll see you tomorrow then.
Then I shall see you tomorrow.
I'll give. Is that Ryan yarning or you?
Oh, I'm being her. She's a little drunk.
Okay, I'll give them both a bow and be on my way.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't seem to be into like anything too important right now, and they're like, oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah, cool. Um,
Lois, anything you want
Fantastic.
to do?
Anything Lois wants to do? Anything Ron wants to do? Or shall we call it a night and see what tomorrow holds?
Yeah, Lois actually has something that she needs to do.
Sure thing.
Uh, the Civis, uh, clerk, rumor monger dude, uh, lives somewhere. I need to find out where.
Uh, which guy is this? Sorry.
There was a Civis guy at
Oh,
the,
okay. Yeah. I know who you mean. You mean the guy that you and your dearly
yeah,
beloved have scared the shit out of. Okay, great.
yeah, that guy.
Got it. Got it. No problem. Okay, yeah, you go looking around. Are you taking Violan with you? I will say Violan's been a little busy today. He's trying to work on Civis stuff himself.
Well, I'll if he's there, I'll let him know. I'm gonna go listen in.
Okay, whatever, whatever makes you happy, dear. I'm more than happy to join you if you
Do
wish.
do you,
I've
do
got,
you, do you, do you know where he sleeps?
of course I do.
Well,
Uh,
in that case,
um, he says, yes, he actually has a private sleeping area in the sort of like the Dragonborn or the Dragon House sort of communal like pavilion in the outer courtyard there. So there's sleeping arrangements there. He has been afforded a space, and since he's court scribe, he's got slightly nicer accommodations. Hasn't made him too popular.
yeah, I just need to get within 100 feet of it.
Well, I hope you'll tell me how it goes. And he kind of just like raises you a little glasses of. He's probably got like a table he's been sitting at that's full of like letters and paperwork and notebooks of stuff that deal with his strategy with Sivis. Hey, look at that! You got a guy for Sivis right now. That's great. Yeah, and he like sends you on your way. And says, "Oh, while you're out, could you pick up another bottle of like I don't know." He gets you like a little. While
Yeah,
you're out
sure.
fucking with the scribe, could you grab a? Yeah, and he sends you out. Incredible. Okay, you head down the street. And you find your way towards the manor here in New Siri. And the sort of Dragon Marked pavilion, if you will. He's somewhere inside, apparently. It is late enough. He should be.
Yeah. I'm Dragon Mark, so I'll throw myself in.
Saunter on in. Yeah, absolutely. You make your way in. You see a couple of people wandering around. Ilya is at uh, the inn, so she's not here. But you do see plenty of other Dragon Marked individuals walking around, including our Kandaric friend, who does stop you, by the way. And he says, "Oh, Lady Lois, I had those paperworks. They've been officiated for you. They got in just this evening. I thought I'd hand them off."
Fantastic. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
And he will do just that. And you now have those are all, you look at them, they're officially stamped, recognized, and signed by legal witnesses with the proper, yeah, all the proper formalities and all that.
Fantastic.
Sweet. But yes, you continue onward, and you will see sitting at his desk, scribbling away with ink-stained fingers. You see Lord Scribe Elisar Magan de Civis, Prime Stonekeeper and Keeper of the 17th Word here in New Siri. Um, and yeah, you meander on over, and he just kind of, oh, sorry, I don't
But
know why I'm so
I'm
jumpy.
not actually looking to get
Oh, got it.
up close and personal with him.
Okay, you see him though. Yeah,
I
he's
don't want him to notice me at all.
okay. Yeah, we'll say that he's got his head down.
If
He's
I get
working.
within 100 feet of his sleeping chamber, that's sufficient to the task. I'm going to park myself on a bench in a chair somewhere inside of that bubble,
Okay.
and pull out the spell book and put my head down like I'm looking at what's there, and I'm gonna switch my perception into Charlotte, who went
Uh,
for a ride and got
yeah.
off in his room because
Easily done.
that's her job.
Easily done. Yes, I recall. Yeah, you probably don't even need to go inside. It's not like a humongous pavilion. You just gotta sit outside, look through your spell book, and go blind. And you are now a spider, and now you have that disorienting, like, oh fuck, I have 8 eyes all of a sudden. And yeah, you find yourself in this living quarters. It is not grand or large at all. It is probably like 10 by 10 at best. It has very modest sleeping accommodations. It has a desk with plenty of candles and paperwork and anything you'd expect from a scrivener's room.
Okay. Well, if he's in and he's busily working on something, uh, we'll do the do the thread drop from the ceiling low enough that I can I can read what he's working on, and I'll just read over his shoulder.
Fair enough, fair enough. Oh man, let's figure it out. What is Lord Scribe working on at this very moment?
Hmm.
Let me just pull this out of my ear real quick. Let's see. It's the Lord's Cry. Oh, there's so much going on. What is he not doing is the real question. Oh, there is something of interest in here, Lois. You do see a speaking stone in his quarters, and perhaps is the
Oh.
reason for his better accommodations. He does seem to have, and you see it in the corner there, this strangely shaped, almost stalactite-y stone marked in all of the glyphs and runes that you have seen before. And just sort of floats there in the corner, and you know that's how messages come and go. You float down, and you see, okay, this is what he's doing. You see that he is writing, he's transcribing, essentially. You see on this piece of paper is all this marking that is like chicken scratch, but because you're from House Sivis, I'm just going to hand it to you. This is the language of stone speak, which is not a spoken language. It is, oh no, excuse me. It is a spoken language. It's a spoken and written language that is exclusive to the stone keepers of House Sivis. And it is a very modified, specialized way of speaking that really condenses sentences into as few words as possible. So it's like chicken scratchy stone speak, basically. And he's transcribing the stone speak into like a written letter to be delivered. Now the question is, what is the letter? I'm gonna just roll dice and we're gonna see how important this
What does
potential
it say,
letter is.
Ryan? What does it say?
I don't
That's
know,
perfectly
Ludvig.
fine.
I haven't a fucking clue, Ludvig. Okay, yeah, here's one. Um, to whom it may concern, I am seeking my sister-in-law on behalf of my husband to see if she has indeed made it to New Cyre or if there is word of her demise during the morning. Please contact, and he's writing along and saying this name and this name. And you get the sense it's just someone in Corvair seeking out a loved one, trying to track down a loved one who may have died, may have not died during the morning. Unfortunately, none of the names are familiar to you, probably isn't of anything that is of tremendous relevance. The names aren't even of a noble uh, making. It will go for, as he's writing, it'll go so far as to say, like, um, it was at great expense that this was made, and I would appreciate a return, so on and so forth. No, it is not important. Unfortunately, it's not that terribly important. There are
And
other papers on the desk to be
that's
looked through,
fine.
though. Yeah. You can like post
Yeah,
up and see if you find
anything
something
that's
better.
open and about, we'll give him a peek. See.
Got it. His desk is very much like you can see the stacks of what he has to get done tonight. And there's like the chicken scratch stone speak words and the letters completed over here. And you know, he's got to do this by the end of the night. Um, yeah, his life is great. Um, why don't you make me a Lois investigation check to see, like maybe you just hang out for a while, see what comes up randomly, see what he can kind of like see through the sifting of the pages on the desk, see if he finds anything interesting.
That'll be a 21 for Lois for investigation.
Ooh.
Oh, never fuck with
Your
Lois.
patience pays off. You find uh, two letters of note. I don't think they would go through Sivis for that one. Okay. I got a fun one for you.
I love learning info like this.
You get a kind of weirdly short-handed letter, but it was sent through the speaking stone, and thus was most certainly something that would cost some expense to send. And it's going to say, Not to leave you in too much suspense here. Just trying to get all my ducks in a row.
That's okay. This is
All
left
right.
field.
A little left field, but that's okay. We love that shit. Um, ah, it says, okay. It says to Soraya Ir Vinth. Um, it says, and then it says to Cord Ebenor. I'm gonna give you these names. I'm gonna write these names down for you. What does it say? It says confirmation confirmed. Um, Eyes on the Crow. And it's signed BDRC. Oh, sorry. BDLC. My apologies. Okay, I'm gonna give you those all the names.
Okay.
I'm giving you them reverse, but oh well. I said his name was Cord. Whatever. I'm changing it because I can't. Cord.
Court
Caldor.
Ebenor.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That's right. Inor. And the last name was there she is. Oh, where'd you go, my tailory friend? There we are. Sorry, Vince. Okay. It's also it also says below payment attached. So basically it says to Saria Irvint, and then underneath with sort of like almost like a spacing, as if there's just like a second message within. It says to Cord Ebenor, you know, uh whatever I said, like asset confirm eyes on the crow. And then BDLC payment attached.
Okay.
That's kind of a unique one you gather. Um the second one I'm gonna give you.
Oh, please, a little less mysterious.
Oh, okay. I know what I'll give you for this one. This one's great. You're gonna like this one. It's a little less spooky. This is to Prince Orgrave Irwinar. Or the court of Prince Orgrave Irwinar. And it seems to be a detailed report of various sightings and attacks out of the Mournland from monstrous wild magic entities. Um, and at the bottom it says, make sure your cavalry remains sharp. You never know how far they're going to go or what's going to come out of there. And it's signed Viceroy Shanard Du Madani, High Seneschal of the Thousand Yard Stair Guild. I'll give you those. I'll give you those that name as well. So reports on monster and wild magic sightings coming out of the Mournlands that are close to New Cyre, by the way. So they're like they'll be specific. They'll be like got as far as Kenrun crossing the Dargoon border. or um, an animated fireball almost ravaged Tharond. They'll be like, and then it'll say something about a wild magic twister got halfway to you before we contained it. Something along those lines, basically. All of it seems to be very,
Okay.
it seems to be some kind of like very clearly seems to be like a kind of warning system a little bit, or like a report on warnings.
Okay. That's fantastically useful.
Okay. Those are the two relevant pieces of information you get in your stakeout team. All right. Um, okay. You head back. There's nothing else that night. Violin will see you come in, say, how'd it go? Did you have fun?
Oh, it was fantastic. Uh, and she will present both of those. I will
Oh,
write them in illusionary script.
sure.
So, it looks like a, a, a little sonnet deal, but it's got the bodies of the two bits.
Nice. He's interested. He's like, oh, or he's interested by the thousand-yard stare thing. He goes, oh, that's very interesting. But he's like, EDLC. What do you figure that means?
I don't know, but I know somebody I can ask.
You always know somebody.
That's the Zill way.
That's the Zill way. And he'll, bing. He'll get you with that. He says, oh, also, by the way, my sister has been, well, to put it politely, bugging me about when we're gonna have a little family get together. Sit down for a family dinner. Uh, that'll be, that'll be. But when do you want to have that?
Uh, Not tomorrow night, but I am I am open to that whenever the schedule best fits.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll shoo her off until Thrain, and maybe we can get out of an event or two over there.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
All right,
That's
I'll let her
a
know.
great idea.
I like to think I'm full of them, but I'll let him
Uh,
know. I'll let her know.
Okay. That is awesome and fantastic.
Awesome and fantastic. Uh, and yeah, and you guys kind of sit around, talk the shit. It's great. And you guys all get some sleep. You can all long rest, as I'm sure you desperately need it. All of your many trials. Yep, go ahead. Please.
Before I go to sleep, I'm sending a sending to my father.
Hmm.
Can you find out uh, uh, who Ciara and Venice, Court Ebenor are, and does BDLC ring any bells?
You get back. Sure thing, honey. And congratulations again on the engagement. Looking forward to meeting the special guy.
Yeah. At, at, at which point I will I will send just a message because we're close enough
Sure.
to Violan. I have a way to get out of a second to do item in Thrain.
Ah, nice.
My father would like to meet you, so there we go.
Oh, great. Nothing like meeting the dad.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You know,
that's
maybe,
the way that works. We're both on
that
the
is the way. Yeah, that is the way. Well, that is the way that works. Oh man, should I face down a army of Templars in Thrain or meet your father? Nope, probably meet your father. That's the correct answer.
That's the he's less scary than than the the Templars from Thrain if
Eh,
if their if their reputation precedes them appropriately.
fair enough. Well, we'll have to see about that. Yeah. And he does look nervous. He plays it off, but he looks a little incredible, incredible. Okay, yeah, you all have your long rest. You all wake up the next morning, and hey, news, news for all of yous. We're getting down the list here of events. Right. Come on, what are we doing today? Whatever. Okay. Oh shit.
I think it was something like the Knight of Petals or something.
Yeah, my notes are a tiny bit scrambled, excuse me. Uh, oh, that's what I've got planned for today. Very interesting. But yes, you guys don't know the specifics of the event, but you do know that the event today is about the Cyren present. There it is. Sorry. Tonight is the night of the Feast of Ingenuity. That is what the event is called today. You are all given a little, nothing too crazy or lavish like you might have found in Zalargo, but nonetheless, you all receive a formal invitation to the Feast of Ingenuity. You can expect a lavish banquet at the Silver Swan Inn. You would hear all kinds of ruckus downstairs, everybody getting ready. And it is there will be music, there will be dancing, there will be food, delicious food, there will be magic, there will be innovation. Seems to be a vague but interesting interlude for the events this evening.
But until then, we have stuff to do.
Yep, until then, you have stuff to do. So, a new day dawns. People are here and there. Again, I'm going to say the Silver Swan is a little less packed today. They're clearly getting everything ready downstairs. It's a little bit like, oh, you need to go upstairs, like, because going upstairs to your room and out the door is no problem. But the main sort of bar, eating, tavern-esque area is pretty much shut down in preparation for the event this evening. So if you want to meet with people, you're going to have to probably meet them out in the street or in the many shops that linger around New Syria. Probably going to be taking too much time to explore the marketplaces. Yes, Rowan.
Has Rowan received any kind of summons to meet with the prince?
Oh, of course, yeah. So I'll say that you received a summon early this morning.
Thank you. So that is the first thing that she would do.
Got it. You all dressed up. You head over there. You get there and it's like early. You wake up and you're all like, you got your coffee. And you're like, fuck, court life is tiring. And you walk over to see the court is already in full swing. You're like, I don't know how Orgriv does it. Like he's just like, does he sleep? And he never looks tired. But nonetheless, the court's in full swing. He's dealing with any number of issues, and you arrive at your umpteenth o'clock, whatever. And the moment you walk in, Orgrave says, the commission sounds like a marvelous idea. We've all discussed it, and I agree. Let us prioritize livestock if House Leora is amenable to such things. We have grass, let us use it and see if we can't develop the soil into something that can harvest something. And everyone all sort of like nods in agreement. And the commission Rowan, you're like the commission? Yeah, that's interesting. Little piece of new Siri thing wait, did they say Leora? And they kind of, these people wander out you've never seen before. We're apparently doing something on behalf of House Leora. You're like, wait a second.
Hasn't Lois, didn't we
Did
actually
she?
talk about that? I mean, Lois, yeah, she's aware.
She told
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Because that's what I thanked them for it. Remember?
Right. I recall that. Sorry, you just. Yeah, no,
But
you
she,
kind of see it at play now. It seems that they have come before the prince to discuss their, uh, well, to uh, get advised by him. He's the prince after all, and he seems to have agreed that livestock's the way to go. So things seems to be in full swing for the commission. They're taking their duty very seriously.
Lois,
But the court closes out for your private audience. Uh, yep, clears out. The same people remain. Um, the old war mage and the Deneth defender, who I will post their handouts so we can remember their wonderful, wonderful names, which we already, of course, all know by heart. Uh, Especially me, who hasn't forgotten a single name ever in my life. Um, there's Prince Orgrave and there's Keltris. Those three remain as well. Honor Guard stays outside. Prince Orgrave remains on his seat, and he says, "Ah, good morning, Baron. Please, welcome. It sounds like you have some more um, advice to give."
I don't know about advice, but information. Uh, and perhaps a little clarity, since Lord knows I don't have any. So if I could provide some, you know, someone should get some. It should be you.
They look amongst each other like, "What?"
I'm so
A little bit.
no,
Uh,
listen. And she's gonna look at the older guys, and I'm like, look, I get that courting seems really frivolous, but it's actually kind of like it's stressful, you know? Like I would whatever. Yeah. So, clarity. Um well, for the first point of clarity, in case I hadn't been clear, um I have been in contact with Haruk since courting season began.
uh, the air leaves the room a little bit, definitely.
Okay,
No
breathe.
throwing of gloves down or nothing like that happens, but you could definitely tell that the air stiffens in here,
E
and even Orgrave sort of
easy.
just kind of like just levels a little
Easy,
bit.
everyone. Right? I come in peace.
Heinrich says, "Baron, you must understand how the Lesh and his nation might curry certain disfavor amongst the Syrian people.
Yeah, I'm Siren. I know. You know what else I know? She's gonna look at Orgrave. If we really want to heal, we also can't hold on to everything that was. And I'm not saying, oh, let's like, hug and go kumbaya. I'm just asking you to acknowledge that there are benefits where you maybe can't marry Sienna. You can still benefit from an alliance with him. He's strong, he's savvy. Not asking you to marry him. Right now, all I'm asking you to do is consider that the two of you might actually be able to help each other.
Orgrave says, "I assure you, Sienna has not been taken off of the table."
I'm not arguing for her. Not even a little bit. In fact, if I was to suggest, my front runner would be Rose.
"Then why do you come and speak of the Lesh?"
So, if you recall, one of the things that I asked was if you had the means, if you would be willing to either purchase or lease land that would legally be yours and no one could throw you off of. And the only objection anyone came up with was money. So if you had the means, is it something you would be willing to do? Knowing
Prince
that,
Orgrave,
go ahead.
Prince Orgrave says, if we had sufficient funds to purchase land to create a sovereignty, it would open a miraculous number of doors.
Well,
How much money are we talking here? You keep talking of possibility beyond coin.
so this is where we get into ifs and long-term strategies, right? So that everyone here knows, you said you wanted everything. So I'm looking at the board and trying to figure it out. I believe that if I believe he may offer me land as a wedding gift.
Keltris, having just taken a bite out of a muffin, starts choking. Um, but eventually spits it out. And goes,
As someone who is dragon marked, I cannot hold land. That land would go into a trust. And so it would come to whatever financial arrangement. And you would be a Dargunian protectorate. And if you could protect your side, if you could just put your pride aside, I would ask you to consider two things. Number one, in the first founding of your nation, you are not going to have the military strength to repel incursion. So being a protectorate has its advantages. Number two, if what you're trying to do is to create a new homeland, then having something that's on the border of your native land to begin with is enormously beneficial, especially if you're running sorties into that land to get salvage, which is an immediate way of turning coin. I know it is a complicated operation, but I am trying to figure out some way to give us a home. And to be clear, I know you don't know me, but yeah, if I can arrange this, I will absolutely leave House Leora for it.
Orgrave says, so let me get this straight. You're going to marry Lesh Haruk so that
If you'll
he can
have me,
give so that he can give you land that you're going to put in a trust for the Syrian people. And then you want me to marry Rose so that we can salvage ruins in Syria?
I I think that there's also an argument to be made for Elena, but I believe Sienna's absolutely out, and I think that the others,
Why is Siona? Well, because you want to. Why do you need? I I guess if you were intending to
you would have
marry on
lands
our
of your
behalf,
own, you would not need to be integrated into someone else's lands. You would have your own.
you really
With his
believe
blessing
you really
up
believe
front.
you
Yeah.
really believe the Lesh is going to grant you, a dragon-marked individual, doubly dragon-marked individual, land to give to us? I mean, I'm genuinely asking. I'm not trying to
What I
put my nose in
believe
your plan.
is that our world is in flux, and no one knows what anyone else is doing, but everyone needs allies. And I don't believe that Cyre could have a better ally than somebody who is as savvy and as savage as Haruk Sharatkor. And he is
There,
honorable. If you deal with him up front, he will deal with
there's
you.
they just like break into like, oh please. And they start like this, and Orgrave kind of puts a hand up to kind of quiet the old man. Um,
And like the emotion is playing on her face. Like she knows. I know it is a big ask on both parts. I'm not asking for yes. I am asking for, do you think you could think about whether or not you could think about it?
Mrs. Baron, I I'm sure I have been considering Sienna's proposal. And you do understand politically, if I were to hypothetically accept her marriage, that would make me a subject of Dargoon, technically. I have been considering this. I know you think us prideful, foolish men, but we are deeply considering every option. We have invited Warforged and Changelings and
I mean, for
foreigners
what
from other
it's worth, as soon
lands.
as you should have seen the look on your face, right?
Keltris slams his staff onto the ground and makes like a thaumaturgy boom. And he says, "This is many a time you have interrupted the priest in his own court. Speak with him with respect." And then Morgrave puts his hand up and says, "That's enough. It's fine. Why would you do this? Why would you marry the Lesh? What would you want in exchange? What are we missing?" This
Like
is
she's got tears on her face right now.
Orgrave says, "This is Baron. This is generous beyond
Is,
all."
is it so difficult for you to believe that I want my home to exist? Is that so difficult to believe that I would do anything?
Make a persuasion or performance check. It's your choice. I will say this. You can make you can also make a deception if there is deception involved.
There is none.
All right.
There is none. Don't fuck me.
Don't fuck me, Gil.
Okay. I think that's gonna be a 19.
A 19.
I think. God, is there anything I can add to it? Yes, it's a 19.
Is there anything she could lower the DC with the reputation she could burn or something like that?
It's a good point. If you got whatever they're called.
Token of favor.
Yeah, if you got tokens of favors to burn, you can lower the DC. If you think it's required, of course.
I don't want to burn a token of favor, but can't you burn like individual points with people?
What, like relationship points?
Yeah.
No, no. You can do that. I think you're thinking of the Olympia game.
Oh shit,
You
yeah.
can,
And no, I got confused. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
Uh, nope. We will leave it at a 19.
Okay,
Unless I have it. Let me see if I've got. I do not have inspiration, so we will leave it at a 19.
fair enough. Um, There is a long sort of pause in the room. You bring forth a shocking generosity, this court that they were perhaps not expecting. Um,
And she takes that moment to like put herself together.
yeah. Um,
And I apologize for the disrespect, Your Highness.
Orgrave just sort of shakes his head and he stands and he will say, I I have no words to express. If you would wish to do this on behalf of the Syrian people, well, you will go down in history books. We will remember this for all time. You will have the everlasting generosity of myself and my people and your people and anyone who needs a home of our people. I will continue to treat the season as I have been treating it this entire time. And should you make this deal complete before the season is this marriage occur, before the season is complete, then I will take this, of course, into deep consideration of my prospects, I suppose.
And if not, I'll find another way to help. But that's just what I could do, today.
Orgrave will walk forward and he'll put a hand on your shoulder and he'll say, Baron, I think the men in this room are so shocked, so looking for a reason, because we are not used to this much generosity after what we have gone through, what you've gone through. It is the duty of a prince to make the marital sacrifices and alliances necessary to carry forth our people, but you are the Baron Leora, and I hope you know, I nor anyone wouldn't judge you if you made a different decision for your house, for these people who are becoming your family. But if you do go through with this, you of course will have the everlasting generosity of Sarah.
There are other ways I can serve House Leora if that's what it comes down to. That's fine. I was in Lyrenton. I was
And the worst of it, from what I've heard.
I watched the mists roll in. Yeah. So
Heinrich from the back will say, you also saw what Dargoon did to our people.
yeah. I literally protected them with my own body. Did you want to see the scars?
He's,
Ooh.
Keltra says, you do not have to prove to anyone in this room what the Syrian people have been through. Well, surely you've been through. They look at each other and back. Just clearly these old men not able to make A and B come together to make something else. Keltra says, if you were there and you suffered so as the papers and all proclaim, how can you stand to suffer the presence of Dolesh, let alone marry him?
What happened on the border of Dargoon was unconscionable. What happened on the border of Valinar was unconscionable. What happened when our closest ally closed the border was unconscionable. That you were kept out of the Ronehold was unconscionable. It all fucking sucked. But this is a new world. And if there is any goddamned blessing, that blessing exists in this, that you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can create anything you want. But you can't work in the same restrictions that everyone else is playing by. He won in one night, and he is honorable. That's the thing about the hobgoblins people don't understand. He gives you his word, he'll die before he breaks it.
Yeah, the old men seem
He didn't order what
unconvinced.
happened.
Uh,
Like,
Keltris opens his mouth to say something, and Orgrave this time turns around and shoots him a very, like, you don't see the look, but a stern look you expected. Keltris was.
I was there. Rukondral is nowhere near the border. I know for a fact that he didn't order it. I am not asking you to forgive what happened. I am asking you to acknowledge that he wasn't responsible. Hobgoblins, yes, but he wasn't. So if you are evaluating an alliance with him, I would ask that you consider that.
Orgrave will
don't.
say, the road to healing between Dargoon and between the Cyren people will be a very long journey. But that does not mean bridges can't be built now. And when everyone's ready to cross, they will be there. Which is why Siona was invited. We did not expect the Baron of House Leora to outpace her, really. We, as I said, will await your word on the matter, and it will influence how we intend to move forward. It changes things. Tactics for this little game will have to change exponentially if that all comes about. But as I assume you have consulted it with your house, we will consult it amongst ourselves and prepare for such an outcome.
Can we agree that this information probably shouldn't leave this room?
I think there's one thing all four of us can agree on is that this information should not leave this room. And if you had
Thank you.
spoken to House Leora, your other viceroys, I surely am not surprised. I would not be surprised and would not blame. There may be other members of this inner circle who may be addressed, such as my administrator and my closest advisors, but it shall remain the utmost secrecy in this court.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Thank you, Baron.
Well, I will leave you to a busy day of administration.
Yes, yes, I suppose. And you may leave, leaving the three men flabbergasted and unsure where this miracle has come from. I take inspiration. What a scene. Crazy.
If you get this through, people will name their children Rowen. Half of
dude.
Cyre women will be Rowen.
It's a very good. The next generation of Cyren people will probably be named fucking Rowen. Yeah, if you pull this off and you, because Sienna's like, basic. Let's be honest. Rowan's offer is just Sienna's offer on drugs. Is like on super drugs. It's on fucking crazy energy drinks and everything. She's like, "Oh, I can offer you our clan lands," and Rowan's like, "I'll offer you like fucking probably half the tribe lands." So yeah, that'll be
Nah.
interesting just to see if it comes about. We'll have to see if Haruk is down a clown. That could be cool. Just one last little piece of the puzzle to figure out, right? Um,
He has a reason to go back now.
yeah, I got a pretty fucking big reason to go back now.
Paper bag.
Yeah, you walk out and she's already got it, like ready to go. You're your bodyguard.
He knows you so well.
Yep. Yeah, it's the fucking Gangs of New York where like the jacket and the hat and the blades and everyone's just handing them and doing everything for him, and that's the
Mm.
anime. All right.
Uh,
Well, let's go to something completely different.
can I go next?
Yeah, Ludwig, what's up?
Okay, I'm gonna take up Miss Elena up on her offer.
Uh,
And
okay.
go see her.
All right. Yeah, Alina said she'd say hi. Yeah, you head over to the pavilion where she seems to be working away on like a model that seems to be um she's got a lot of pages out on the desk. She's got some books out on the desk, and she's also got this model of some kind of structure that she's like looks like she's building out of like I don't know, blocks. They look professional, mind you, but like she's clearly like doing some kind of three-dimensional blueprint of some kind. And you meander over. And she kind of keeps looking at it, and she kind of stays half consumed in her work for a moment. She's got
Can
her
I
pages out. She goes,
can I make an
"Oh,
educated guess what she's working on?
it's some building. It's a little. You don't know what building, but some building.
Looks like a model of a building.
Yeah, it looks like a model of. It looks like the bones of a model of a building. It's supports basically.
Forgive me for interrupting, my good lady. What's she working on?
No, not at all. I'm just looking to see if there's other more cheaper materials to be utilized for um, uh, structural boards and such that New Siri can utilize for building proper houses. Unfortunately, there isn't much to replace wood. At least nothing cheaper, that is.
Yes, I remember when you've done well for making the best of what you have here.
Well, thank you for saying so. It was not easy to put all of this together. Maybe a tent city out there, but it did take some fancy maneuvering to get it all figured out architecturally.
It's like I can't imagine what it's like working with these lands. They've
Oh,
when I first looked outside the carriage, I thought I was back in Garnath for a moment.
hmm. Oh, um, Viceroy,
Yeah,
you
yes.
must understand, to an architect, to builder, um, I don't say this very broadly, but considering you're not Siren, I will say this to you. It's actually quite a fun
What?
challenge. I mean, think of it. You're given a place. There's no natural resources to be utilized with great interest, limited budgeting. It's a challenge to be sure. Limited resources in order to achieve a goal, finite ability to an extensive labor force, but finite materials. It's very interesting challenge indeed.
Well, could could you help me? Perhaps I could help you clear you of that set of yours for a little while.
Certainly, very well. I need to put this down for a while. My most recent hopes were dashed, but that's okay. One question answered is another step to completing the puzzle.
Maybe you could gain inspiration by touring me your other creations
Very
and
well.
the marketplace even perhaps.
Indeed, might be good to take some review. Very well. And she'll put on like a little jacket, and yeah, you guys head out. And yeah, she'll show you around. You make your way out around New Siri to see the places you've seen before a little bit, and she'll point out the sights to you quite proudly. Um, she will say, well, obviously, the most dignified building present would be, of course, Orgrave's Manor, the court itself. Not to any of my ability, of course. Most of what is in there that is of finer material was recovered from the Mournlands, like salvages and such. So that wasn't truly my like of genius, but this was the nicest standing. This is actually the most complete structure still here after the attack. But my most, well, I think, fun creation, as I received proper funding for its achievement, was, uh, I believe it was, yes, it was the House Orion Enclave. House Galanda is very good at setting up shop. The Silver Swan Inn was their endeavor, but
Well,
I
you
put together
have
the House
to.
Orion Enclave.
Well, they have
Oh,
to. Galanda has
indeed,
to.
rumor has it they have a guild specifically designed for the putting up of inns, quick as can be.
I would,
So,
that would not surprise me at all.
no, not quite surprising, is it? I only helped in a minimal fashion, but the House Orion Enclave was something that they provided me funds for creation, so that was a fun little break from the usual um, knitting together resources. But the marketplace is something that I can happily take credit for. Oh, and of course, Memorial Row. Memorial Row, I think, is what people most remember me for.
Memorial Row was fantastic.
Oh, thank you for saying so.
And
People need a place to mourn.
And as we walk and talk, and maybe in the market, I start asking her, what was it like before the
What was
morning?
what was what like before the morning?
Cyre, the Metro House
Oh,
Cannith. I only saw it from up north and from the outside. I've saw Metro from in the distance on the horizon, but I never saw it in person. What was it like? And
I
it's
would dare to
glory.
say, aside from Sean, which is a marvel of innovation, I would say Metro was probably the grandest city in all of Quebec. It, as you saw during the Requiem, had massive mountainous-like spires that were uh, cut down in a large-scale excavation to create the many towers that created the palaces and barricades and high districts and manors and enclaves. And down below, well, they had everything. Conventions for art and music. They even had a coliseum, if you could believe it. Not just for combats, but for shows on the rounds, you see. Reenactments, even more reenactments, really, which you, Carnathy, I'm sure would find very interesting.
I laugh at that joke. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
But like
But
it's complimentary joke, right?
yeah, of course, of course. She says, but Metrol was the heart of Cyre. Was it was beautiful. Beautiful to behold and beautiful to immerse yourself in. There's nothing it's like in all of Corvair. And there never will be again, I expect.
I remember. If I remember, I only remember seeing Metro in distance on the horizon. The, there were other soldiers back in the day talking about how they'd marched, promising they'd march through Metro, but now it's lost to everyone. That's that was. You know what? Hold on. Wait. Gift of Gab. I'm going to take that back.
You do see in that moment there is a little bit of a she's Kenneth, but maybe there's like a little look on her face. You're like, oh yeah, maybe I probably should talk to Cyre native about.
Yeah, no. Walk back. I was talking about.
All right, you walk that back
Gift of Gab.
hard with the gift of Gab, no problem.
I only describe a bit like on the horizon. I thought, and it seemed like a jewel, the size of the city. I guess it was.
It was a jewel. Palace of Vermishard spanned all. What was it? I can hardly remember these days. All 7 columns. The grandest palace in all of Corvin, even more so than Thronehold. The citadel of the cathedral of the sovereign host was beautiful. The Metro Arena had shows playing every hour of every day, every moment of every night, and well, I could go on. It was beautiful, and it is gone.
But something new can come in its place. Can I start?
Yes, yes, of course. It is The job of the builder to bring about the future, is it not?
True. Yes. Speaking of builders, what was the inside of Kenneth like before as well, before that day?
Ah, the inside of Kenneth, not an often asked question, surprising. No,
That
nobody really terribly has that curiosity about our original um,
that's what I meant to-
base of operation in Iston. Let's see. Well, Eston, uh, always known as the throne of Cannith, that is where we had our ancestral home, was a place of wonder and magic. I don't know if your Baron ever saw it, but I expect she would have loved it tremendously. It was the beating heart of House Cannith, where innovation met creation every day. Magic is the foundation of modern civilization, and Easton was where that very foundation started in all of Corvair. Nothing in the modern world became grand unless it had come through Easton. For every fire-bright lantern that lit your streets was first created there. The lightning rail was conceived there in my very home. Easton was the place where magic came to life. It is where the thoughts and dreams and ideas of creators became reality. There was nothing worth talking about in all of Corvair that wasn't invented there.
I've been to Fairhaven. It sounds somewhat similar.
Oh, Fairhaven is posh and full of shit, frankly. They have fancy clothes, but they merely imitate Cyre. Cyre may have had good fashion, but we made up for it by also having culture. More than just sticking feathers in hats, you see. We had innovation, and we had magic and architecture. We had we had everything. We were the jewel of Corvair.
What what was your life like there?
It was wondrous. Of course, the grass is always greener on the other side. I was not allowed often to leave Cyre because of the war. My parents doted on me so. But when I became old enough, I went abroad. I was only abroad for a short while before the morning actually happened. It was my first time away from home. I had made such revelations in Eston. I can't speak of a lot of what we got up to there that I was personally involved in, but I can tell you this. It was marvelous. Innovation every day, where politics were just as important as magic in its creation. It was a good life. It was a tremendously good life. One I would wish to have back
What,
if it was
Ryan?
possible.
Ryan, what did she say she was outside the day of mourning?
I don't believe she did. Oh, I'll tell you where she was. I'll double check to make sure I'm not just making up things on the fly that are not there. Let's see. Haydith, Rose, Vesti, Ilya. Oh, let's see. Where was she? Yeah, yeah. Blown from the face of the earth was her family.
Yeah.
Should say, funny enough, I was sent one day, really, to check out some projects out in Fairhaven. The morning happened, and I found myself, well, rushing back to see if anybody had lived. I didn't find anybody, of course. But I did find a lot of people who needed somebody who knew how to build something properly, so I rolled up my sleeves.
That's how you found yourself here.
Yes, I came back looking for anyone. I found a couple people, but it's never enough. It's it's the heart's greatest joy to find someone you thought who might have died. And it's also never enough.
If well, as we're talking, like I'm discovering the joys of Siren cinnamon twists, I guess.
Yeah, she's handing you off like a churro or something.
Oh.
She's like authentic.
Good. How much for the recipe?
He goes, not on your life, kid. And he chuckles at you and sends you on your way. Um,
I whispered to Lena, I need to get that man's recipe.
she just kind of smiles, and you see, she's kind of you find yourself kind of going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, for a bunch of the conversation. You ask the very broad questions. She just sweeps up the conversation. Uh, she's someone who is surprisingly kind of genuinely all around has been and is been happy, I guess. One of the few happy people. She very happy's not the right word. Optimistic. She's probably one of the few optimists. That's not true. New series full of optimism.
She's content.
But she's content with the challenge that she's been presented, and she's optimistic about what that means for her in the building of the future. And she seems to speak like she's in a dream when she talks of Cyre.
I understand. That also leads us to the present.
Yes, of course.
What do you think of the current states of Kenneth and the Barons?
I think it's a lot of dick measuring and ladies who can't keep their lovers secret enough, and businessmen who think business and leadership are the same thing. Genius inventors who are dying stars because the center of their innovation is no longer allowed to be innovated. If you ask me, none of the three of them should be the best. Maybe I don't know enough about the politics. I've been too absorbed here in Cyre, but I mean, Zorlin's a businessman. Jolana's, well, she likes young men who are inappropriate to sleep with far too much. And Merrick's is an expert on the innovation of Warforged, which are now illegal to work upon. So, what makes them the great builders of our time?
Do you feel
What
as
makes
though
them the leaders of Canons?
would you think that you should be Baron?
Of course. But unfortunately, my whole family was pulverized by some bastard who decided to trade the morning. So now I don't have enough bloodline or connections to back up my once very high claim to heirdom. So here I am while I love the Syrian people, the armpit of the fucking world, trying to put regular buildings up. I like the challenge, but I miss the days of large amounts of funding, innovation beyond wildest dream.
Yeah, I understand. But there's not. But let's say, well, let's say, what if you were the Baron? And right now, people came to you. They all said that screw them all. What would you do as Baron? You're the Baron. What would you do?
Well, I would see if I was married to Orgrave first. If I was not married to Orgrave first, then I would say yes. If I was married to Orgrave, I'd say fuck off. But if I was not married to Orgrave and they came hunting around for me to be the Baron, what would I do? Well, I'd end the east-south-west nonsense, reconsolidate the whole house under a single banner, and start working on inventions to, well, she gestures the grey mist on the horizon, get rid of all that nonsense, or innovate things that will actually help people enjoy an era of peace, make profits in peacetime rather than just focusing on all the cool shit we built when things were destroyed. We need to build up our funds. We need to build up the economy so that our economy can prosper. We lost a great deal in the Mournland, and most importantly, I would go into the Mournland with the best Caneth excavators and delicately take all of our best secrets back from the Grey Mists. But I lack the resources right now. If I were to marry Orgrave, I would have the resources, and we would take back our glory.
That's quite a dream.
And more than this, Viceroy Ludvig, remember, I know a great deal of associates. What cannot be achieved if all of the dragon-marked houses came together under one banner, and all decided to fuel all of their great powers into one project, the restoration of Cyre. The 12 alone experiment on cross cross enchanting magics between, the different marks. But I mean, if everyone was allowed to innovate, well,
Do you? I've not discussed my next question with many other people, and I think you might be the perfect person to ask. What do you think caused the mourning? It can be very
I
private.
don't, I don't. I would love to say I know. I would love to be able to have the answer. I'm sure everyone in Corvair wishes they had the answer. I don't. What caused the mourning? She looks over and she says, just like many other people, I've thought about it often. I know this. The borders are precise, and they hold true precisely to the current borders. I'd often wondered if, say, the legal border between Brayland and the Mournland changed, where, for whatever reason, Brayland decided to secede, say, a quarter mile of their border to the Mournland, see if the Mournland would spread to meet that border.
Do you think the Mournland might be conscious in some way?
Oh, I have no doubt, dear Viceroy. The Mournland, this was not an explosion. This was not some violent creation. This was intentional. And this was expertly crafted. This is a bioweapon, clear and simple. You ask me, I don't think Jurassic did it. But someone tied to Jurassic, or at least someone beyond Jurassic's knowledge of biological warfare. And that is to say that Jurassic, of course, doesn't know anything about biological warfare. But we also know that nobody says what actually happens. What actually happens is that everyone has a little secret guild on the side. Who's to say Jurassic hasn't developed this? Who's to say they hadn't even considered it? Who's to say someone hadn't thought it once or been tried? All I know is that someone with a clear expertise of how humanoids work, monstrosities work, basically anything that is undead or a construct or an actual spell works, has a very particular effect in the mind. Very particular effects have occurred within, and they can be entered by Warforged. Who's to say that a Warforged didn't do this? I don't know. What I do know is this. There are faces on the side of that monument. I don't know if that's an illusion or if that is actually the manifestation of people who have died there. I do not know, but I know this. A consciousness is behind it. Otherwise, it would not have formed such a particular outskirt around the borders. Nature does not recognize political borders. People recognize political borders. And so someone did that. This was no act of nature, and this was no mistake.
That's two questions about the mourning before we move on. What exactly happens when a humanoid like myself or yourself go in there?
There isn't a word for it yet. It's a new way to die. From the scavenger reports, people who have died there, even on the morning, are still in there. They are flesh and bone. They have not retracted into skeletons or degraded. They remain there, utterly paralyzed in terror, in the very positions that they presumably died in. Some have fallen over as if they were mid-run. Others are kneeling over their children, trying to block them with their bodies. All remain there, frozen in time. Those who enter, well, it's anyone's guess what happens to them once they enter, but the effects come slowly at first, in ways you wouldn't notice, and then they get worse and worse, but it's different person to person. Wild magic is hard to track, you see. But the moment you step inside, you are under the influence of the gray mist and the chaos magic within, and you will die.
Interesting. How do you
Very interesting.
I've heard whispers and rumors, completely unsubstantiated, that I do not hold myself, by the way, that points the finger at some secret Cannith weapon responsible for the mourning.
Yes, some terrible Cannith weapon. Yes, of course, we blew up our own steading, of course. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let me put the logic to you very simply. As I have already said, there was a consciousness behind this. This was intentional. It surrounds the border of Cyre precisely down to to the inch on the map. And only people acknowledge political borders, not natural phenomena. So someone let this loose intentionally, and someone let this loose consciously to hit Cyre specifically. Kenneth didn't do it. I'd stake my life on it. The only people who would possibly, out of House Kenneth, who could possibly hope to gain from destroying Cyre are people who would wish to take over the leadership of Kenneth, I have to presume, which means it's either Zorlin, Jorlana, Merrick, or some other poor fool whose hands fell away from them, but whoever created that was no fool. So if it is a Kenneth, it's Zorlin, it's Merrick's, or it's Jorlana, Merrick's didn't do it. Because the greatest creation forges were in Cyre at the time. In fact, almost all of them were. So I don't know why he would destroy his own creations when he seems so intent on still working on them even after the morning. So it's not him. Zorlin's a businessman. I can't see his business prospects growing by the, I mean, he seems more like the assassinate type than the mass genocide type, if I were to put him in a war criminal thing. And Jolana, well, I mean, her name has popped up for heirdom because of a very specific line of succession has occurred. She was like 18th in line or something before the morning. How could she have possibly predicted that it would end up with her precisely where she is? It's a bit of a reach. I don't think it was Kenneth. I think anyone who says it's Kenneth is a blowhard and a fool.
I never, for the record, I never said it was intentional. Some think it could be an accident.
No, that much is not true. There was no accident. Someone meant to destroy Cyre, and precisely Cyre alone. Frankly, I might look at Valinor. I might look at Dargoon. I might look at anyone who sits on the border of Cyre. I mean, you don't want to destroy your own country, of course. And we can't destroy all of the surrounding countries and not just our country. So let's say it's Karnath, for example. Well, it would be rather suspicious if Karnath was the only bordering nation that wasn't destroyed in the aftermath. We have to make sure all of them are protected. So I think it was either Thrain, Fairhaven, Karnath, the Talenta Plains is a reach, Valinor, Dargoon, or Brayden. It's a wide froth of individuals, but clearly it is someone who doesn't want one of those nations destroyed, or more of them.
Karnath had many
It's a
soldiers.
cover-up. They're covering up their favoritism.
Karnath had many soldiers die in the morning. It'd be quite a betrayal of Karnath if it was discovered someone within it did that.
If some maniac was willing to blow up an entire sovereign nation, what's the lives of a couple more soldiers from back home to save the entire country from war?
Perhaps, but yes. On a more happy note, I would ask, how long does it take you to make a Kenneth individual to make a magic item?
Depends on the magic item, of course. Rather quickly, I would say. Why?
If they had the proper funding and investments?
For funding, proper materials, sometimes if it's simple enough, I could just pop it up on the fly.
Something to keep in mind. Thank you for that.
Most certainly.
And a few more questions before I leave you be for the day.
Well, I must be getting back to my tent, so let's make it one more question, I don't.
Okay. Will he still be here after the season?
If Orgreave marries me, I expect I will have to be here, and if he doesn't marry me, well, someone's going to have to keep building this place up. So, yes, I expect I'll be here. Unless she marries that Dargoon woman, then I probably will end up in Zargoon, won't I? Never place I thought I'd end up. Rather dirty.
Thank you.
But,
Thank you.
well, at least they'll have me to fix that.
Thank you very much. I hope to speak with you more later this evening.
Most
And
certainly.
and one last thing, as a thank you
Mhm.
for enduring my questions. You're cordially invited to the tourney tomorrow.
Most kind of you. Well, thank you for that.
Well,
Not an
but
endurance at all. I enjoy answering questions.
and you've provided quite a few answers. Thank you very much. And I give her
Very well.
a bow.
And tell your Baron not to be such a stranger. What was Kenneth?
Kenneth Girls.
Yes, us Kenneth girls.
Have a good day to you.
Good day.
And
You
I
shall
leave it
wander
be.
off to the pavilion.
And I leave it be.
Leave it be. Okay, folks, that's 11:30. But when we come back next session, you better believe we're going to be having ourselves a proper feast to celebrate what Cyre has become.
And we just determined what dress Rowan's gonna wear.
Yeah, all right, cool. Very cool. All right, guys, well, let me let you go for the evening.